I got you.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Alright, and I will open up the stream on YouTube.
I guess it's doing.
Charles.
Why do you know how to do this?
What?
Everyone.
I'm not talking to you. Do you need this, William? You don't need this open, do you? Can I delete this? I'm deleting this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Hey, Jayden.
Yeah.
Why do you know how to do this?
Cause I set it up a while ago. Also, cause it's not that hard.
What for? Well, I knew it wasn't hard, but I mean, like,
I never
you know.
I never used it. I just have it set up.
New audio device detected. Now what the hell do you want? Oh, audio
just click
input.
don't switch. Do not switch. That's on Discord.
Yeah,
don't
you're
switch.
right. That's
Just
my
keep it
stupid
out.
fucking headphones that think that they're also microphones, but they're shit microphones.
Alright, the stream is up and working.
Holy goddamn motherfucking shit.
Oh,
How do we look?
let's check.
Oh,
Alright.
beautiful.
Go on YouTube and just look on his channel.
As soon as people start coming in, you can play the.
Oh yeah, you're live.
Wait, this is where I want to be.
Like hell yeah, we are. How's the delay?
Charles, go into it's big, but it's fine. That's just how that goes. Charles, just.
It's not supposed to be that
Oh no, that's gonna be our fucking network issues,
Charles,
not
join open.
you know. I'm in open.
Alright. Okay, everyone, let me double check that everyone can join.
Okay,
Yeah.
should be open to everyone.
I'm gonna pull up the stream.
Hey, what the hell?
We got Alice.
William, are you hearing all the people speaking
Yeah,
in
I'm
5
hearing
minutes?
everybody talking. That's why I said.
Oh dear.
You're talking about now.
Not Kyrin first. I have to sign in to
Oh
chat.
dear,
I can't.
that's a really big delay.
Yeah.
I should
Hell yeah,
probably
it
walk
is.
this up a second,
No.
shouldn't
I just have to stream muted.
I? Oh, the delay.
Yeah, no, the delay is really bad.
Yeah.
Hey, look, shut the fuck up. Like, I know there's a delay. You don't need to tell me again.
I mean, it's not like it's not an issue, but it's just.
I mean, it's not an issue if you're like an
Just-
outsider. And
yeah,
you're not
just
in
none
the
of
call,
us should. None of
but-
us. Should,
yeah, no,
should
none
watch
of
it.
us.
None of us
should
should
watch
watch
it.
it.
No,
Otherwise
there's no
it's gonna be
point. It's no,
I mean,
honestly.
yeah.
I don't even know what the point is of doing it live. Well, actually, no, I do know the point is so that we don't have to edit it. But yeah, anyone
4 people watching
who
the
gives a shit.
Play
What's the
the
4?
intro.
That's the. How do I can't do that.
Bum, 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 bum,
Oh god damn it! Is this still the intro that we have? Oh, but we changed it. But like, it still only has the jiggles, right? Oh my god, nobody
Stream.
gives a goddamn shit. Not a single person listens to the
Let me
intro.
switch the thing. Jesus Christ! Hey,
It was already on me.
We're live. We're here.
No one saw the intro without already seeing me.
It doesn't matter. This is for the actual recording. We can trim out the first bit.
That's too much trouble.
Oh wait, it
the
actually
intro?
plays the thing. Wow.
The audio?
Yeah.
Oh, did it
You
play?
dumb
That's
stupid
just singing
motherfucker! So
over
it has you singing the intro over the intro? It's just like Jeremy on Off Topic. That's retarded. I'm gonna start telling people that we're live and that
This looks
if they
beautiful. I'm gonna
don't
send this to-
come watch, I'm gonna rape their wives.
Stop.
Here, I'm gonna post it on Instagram.
Hey.
I'm gonna send it
Oh,
to
it looks
my
like
boy.
someone's sending funny memes to the group chat. Okay, well, shut the fuck up and come join my live stream. Stream. Wait, William, do we have a link that actually works now?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, it's the Lincoln mod things.
I just closed Discord. Give me a second.
Fireball.
Nice.
As you were saying
my
that, I went,
God.
well, I guess I won't need Discord on the phone anymore.
Instagram people.
Why can I shoot fireballs in this game mode?
Well, why is also? Wait, no, I mean the link for the YouTube video,
Yeah.
silly boy.
It's also just a link in the search bar when you open it.
Did you send it to me, William? No. I could do that, but that's too much trouble. I need one on my phone so I can send it to people. William, are you gonna help me, or am I gonna have to do this myself?
What do you want? What?
It's too late. I'm already doing it myself.
What do you need from me?
Do you think I have a notification for it? A notification for myself from myself?
Link for yourself? Oh, yeah, sure, I'll send it to you.
Oh my god, it's there. Holy fucking shit. I'm looking at myself, looking
Nice
at my
thumbnail.
phone, looking at myself on my phone.
Wow.
Oh, so do you have the link now?
I'm gonna get it. What is this? Dude, remember the goth girl from Total Drama?
Yeah, Charles. I think about that
It's already-
girl from Total Drama every day. Wait, no, that's not true. Stop.
Not saved.
There's the
God
link.
fucking damn it. Jesus fucking
I
Christ.
sent you the link.
Oh, thank you, William. You did
seem
that
to be
abs-
technical difficulties.
seconds before. Oh man, if you watch the last live stream, this is way less technical
This
and
is
way less
so good,
difficult.
Honestly, look at this. I could like play the intro again right now.
Join, motherfuckers.
How many people do we have on?
I'm
this
gonna
right
go
now?
to
Four.
the-
It's still just 4 people. Nobody cares about us.
It'll probably increase.
Way less
About 5
technical.
years.
What does that mean, Charles?
It means that the difficulties are less technical and there's less of them. That's exactly what it fucking means. We live streaming the podcast.
Nice, Charles. This
What?
is important promotion. Oh, and check this out, Charles. If
So
you want to show the
you
stream,
have the stream
what
chat
Discord
open.
looks like, you just click on this, and then you go to
Charles, you can see stream chat, right?
to Discord.
Shut up, William. I'm
You
trying to
make
listen
sure
to
Oh,
Jayden.
you don't have Discord here.
I'm trying to listen to the helpful Asian, William.
I'm sorry.
Can you,
This will
can you see stream chat?
But, if
I
you
can
don't even
see
have
2
Discord-
people who have said 1 word each.
Okay, perfect. Then you're fine.
Well, I can't, interact with it because I'm not apparently signed in on OBS.
I mean, you can just respond like live.
Yeah, I
you
can
can
go
just
to
talk.
the, I can go
You
to
can just talk.
to
You don't
YouTube
have
to type into it, but I feel like it's
No, like if they're watching stream,
Right.
you can just
Yeah.
talk back to them.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
speak.
yeah. There's
It
no
might
one to
be a
talk
little
back
slow,
to though.
but-
What the hell? What are you doing now? No, what are you on about? Shut up. Silence. Uh-oh.
Goddamn.
This could be worse. I want to see my own goddamn video, dude.
Worse.
It could be so much
Have
worse.
you watched that video? The Dumbledore asks calmly. That's a good video.
I haven't seen that video, but like that was my life when I watched the movie.
Yeah. You were upset.
Ah, shut up, Isaac. Where is it me? You know what? Fucking forget it.
That. I wish you had.
I
screen
swear to
recording.
God,
I-
it wasn't there for
See,
a
'cause I
second
can't,
ago. Video, dude.
Worse.
Oh, dude, it could be so much
Have you
worse.
watched
Okay,
that
wait. We gotta
Dumbledore
mute
asks-
this
wait,
because right now it's.
Uh,
Why does it stop? Why would I pause my own video?
okay, wait. Go back to the. You're still showing screen.
Oh
right?
my God, I'm going to kill myself on camera.
Oh no.
We're good now. We're good
I
now,
can
right?
waste 3 hours of my life fixing this Discord server for
Oh,
nothing.
it's 7 people are watching.
It's been working
It's
for
okay.
a while now.
William will keep it going. William will keep it going.
Alright.
Oh my god.
You're live streaming your own stream now.
God damn it, William! I blame you.
What?
This is me now.
Oh my god.
Give it 4 minutes, it'll be back to normal.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay. It's
Okay,
fine.
no. So what you can do is, so I don't know if you can do it on the phone, but you can pop out live stream chat. So it's on a separate window, and you should probably do that on your phone, so you have it separate from your computer.
I feel like you don't realize there's not going to be anything happening in the chat that's worth being
Fair
on it
enough.
for.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can't overestimate. So
Alright.
I'm gonna get that Discord link and see if anyone wants to hop in.
Wants to join.
Technical.
Oh yeah. You can. You could. Nobody talks in the chat. Yeah.
Also,
No,
we have
yeah.
one viewer that isn't from this call.
Yeah, one person.
Yeah, I
There's
think
one.
everyone else is here.
Oh, 2. There's 2 viewers that aren't from this call.
Ah, hot damn.
Wait, we have like people are in the thing, but wait, are people talking? Wait, I don't think I'm in this right now.
No, they're
Chat?
not.
No.
Like, the stream is going well. So I'm gonna
Jaden, you should have seen us. I was gonna say last year as if this was an annual thing, but 10 episodes ago when we did this, the audio from
Oh, yeah.
Discord was coming into the back of the microphone through a stereo.
Oh,
Yeah, that I attached.
That
Oh,
was
So
just
good.
It was
oh
amazing.
my god.
We had a
No
little
one could
band.
hear
it was
anything.
retarded. Yeah, so how's the audio
People
volume right now?
loved that video, Charles.
Doesn't.
Like on stream?
Yeah, it's great.
I'm not
Charles. I
listening.
can hear it.
Any,
Okay,
anywhere, honestly.
It's amazing.
People were saying it was too quiet across the board.
Well, if it's too quiet across the board, you can just turn up the audio.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, is it good now?
It's perfect.
I don't trust
Fine
you.
for
It
me.
sounded fine to us
Yeah,
last
it
time
sounds fine
too.
to me.
Yeah, but I listen. I'm
Also,
on
people
the
can
actual
just turn
stream
up the
itself.
audio if it's too quiet.
That's what I told them, but they wouldn't do it. It's incredible. People want me to do everything
All
for
you
them.
have to do is hit, like, to just make the volume.
No,
louder
it
on
sounds
your
fine,
computer,
this-
then you can hear louder.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Join the Discord.
View count. 8 people are watching. Say something, Charles.
8 people. Holy shit. That's a lucky
more than
number
we
in
had
Chinese.
last time.
Most of them are.
Well, for like the last.
That means 4 people. That's incredible.
That's true. That's okay. Well, that's kind of sad now. Who are the 4 people? Say your names in chat.
No, don't say
Audience
anything. Don't do
interaction.
anything. Just
Don't.
Don't do it.
I want you to all do nothing. And
That's what we're doing on stream right now.
Okay, cool.
Alright, Matt,
No
I'll
one's
work it
doing
in.
anything.
that's not nothing. God damn it, Dean.
That's the most something that nothing can be.
You guys remember? Okay, if you want to have,
Oh yeah, wait, crap, hang on.
if you want to interact with us, right? Okay, in 3 minutes when you hear this, well, whenever the delay's over, they hear this, right? And they get to it. I want everyone, including the people who are, technically running, helping to run the stream, but you all too. If you watched last live stream, if you remember, William had a physical representation of the audience, which was like a baseball bat with a boxing glove on it, with a like Japanese like kabuki looking mask stuck onto that. And that was fucking stupid as hell, and it wasn't funny, and I hated it. And it gave me like minor aneurysms throughout the stream. And I want you to all in the chat say if that was retarded or not.
I think you.
If
I don't
you-
even remember seeing
If
that.
you thought good, probably because I beat it off screen every time it was in frame.
Remember that?
What? I mean, I can bring it back.
Also, Alice, I feel like you gave up on YouTube is why you were mostly on like the Instagram thing. Or,
Yeah,
or
no,
just
because the
Discord.
delay was so strong. And
Should I do the
Discord.
Instagram stream again?
Discord.
Let's do the Instagram stream as well.
Oh, somebody left. It's only 7 viewers.
God damn it! Those are the people who leave. By the way, are usually like my friends. It's insane.
I mean, it's probably because you're not doing anything.
The people who God fucking, I'm gonna throw my phone across the room.
In that case, let me boot up Tor.
Oh,
All right, let's fucking fuck Instagram. This is,
oh, dang! Are you doing the thing?
Sure, I'll boot up Tor. We can
Are you
search
doing
up
the thing?
everything.
Are we doing the tour? Oh,
Are you doing the
Hey,
thing?
browsing
Oh,
tour?
he's doing the thing. Oh, he's doing the thing. I know.
He's doing the thing.
Alright, I'm connected to Tor. People give me sketchy websites to go on.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, we have somebody named.
The deep web.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever that person is.
Scuba Cow, what do you want?
Scuba Cow has been here this entire time. Yes.
Scuba Cow, this Kyrin character is weird. He shows up.
Trying to talk right now, but he's just.
He shows up to everything. He's first. By the way, this guy has got an origami YouTube channel that's leagues more successful than this piece of shit. He shows up to everything that I do and never says anything. He just comes, he joins the calls, and never says a word.
And he's not even muted, so he's actually just.
Meaning
sitting
he
there in silence.
enjoy your content.
I mean, he said
Wait,
something.
who joins the
I
call and
think.
doesn't say a word?
This
Kyrin.
Kyrin person, known as Scuba Cow, he's always there and he just watches and listens. It's
Ah, so
weird.
that's who it is. Okay.
I mean, he's currently playing Minecraft.
Everybody
Yes,
go,
indeed,
go to the
Minecraft.
NSFW channel.
I mean, I appreciate
Oh God. Are we
you
doing this?
being here, I guess.
No,
William, that
Ah,
Okay, here we go.
Well, that's not even on.
You can't do that.
That's not
I'm
even
not
on
gonna open that.
screen.
Oh, Jayden, no.
I can actually make it so that.
It's
Oh, you have Discord open.
what?
I hate you more than like anyone in the entire world. Alright, check this out. If I add. Alright. This is very technical. Display capture? No. Window capture. There you go. So if I add a window capture, add sort of stop. Done. And then hopefully the stream key isn't on screen. What? Screen, yes. Because that would be bad. Stop, Charles, please. And then so I can put this in the top. Where do you want this to be? This is the chat. It's covering you right now. I like that. So that's there. And now if we just go here and then hit. I'm so good at this. Boom.
What have you done? What did you?
Screen currently just shows you OBS.
it does just show
Not,
your
that's
OBS.
the
Dumbass.
delay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That's why I'm
Oh,
setting
go.
up. Check this out.
But now I can't see what I look like. Also, it's covering my face.
Move to the other side then. Wait.
It's the wrong other side. I don't think that's what we want.
No.
This isn't a goddamn video game.
What?
Also, it's too big.
Chat.
Why don't? Can we just switch between the two? Just make it full size.
Oh, okay.
Also, it's what is this? This still is the OBS and not
You could, if you click on the stream, click on the chat box to the right. If you click
They're
on the
both OBS now.
Okay, no. Go.
Because you're on OBS. If you're on OBS,
I need the OBS to see what they're seeing.
then don't.
You stupid motherfucker. That's
Coronavirus.
that's just natural
You
selection.
don't need to see the thing.
I want to see what they see.
Right here, you fucking idiot.
That's too much trouble. Because then I have to switch to Discord. I can't get from Discord to YouTube, William, because that's
Don't go to YouTube.
Oh,
No, it's on my screen. That's the point. You don't need to change. This is it. You can see.
what is this just my screen?
Yes.
Is that what this thing is? Why don't you make it a different thing instead of layering it over top of me?
What do you mean? Where else would I put it?
On its own scene.
No, but I want it to be in there, so you don't have to switch to it, because if you went to switch to it, then it would have to show the OBS for an amount of time. If you just have it constantly
it does show the OBS.
then they can see it, even if they're about to...
But it's too. No one wants to. Well, who wants to see this?
Jesus Christ, in case, like, you know, wait,
What do you mean in case? You get to choose whenever you put hentai on the
I
screen.
can't really send Nekos, because that might, you know, I got...
No, I don't-
This one's safe, but, you know...
I don't think YouTube allows that. Like you could have gotten us. Demolished just then a second
This one
ago.
is safe, so...
But what if it hadn't been? Like we could have been taken off of YouTube right then and there.
Fun fact, Charles actually owes me, like...
I don't owe you shit.
$20 just from...
Ben liked it.
Safe for work Nekos.
That's alright.
$5? What?
Well,
Yeah, we did some betting.
is this what? So they're gonna see this soon? I don't want them to see that. How do I make them see me? Oh, so they're gonna see both, right?
That's the kind of the point.
I don't want that. I really
You
don't.
don't want you and the Neko in the same...
I'm just deleting it. How do I get rid of it? There.
Put it on screen.
Wait, guys, check this out. Nah, I'm smaller. Can I? What else can I do with me?
You can do...
I can be bigger.
Yeah, you can.
See, you're making edits, but no one can see what they are for like.
Well, you
some
will
reason.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The delay, yeah.
Also,
You'll see them
what's
soon.
they changed?
You'll see
Oh,
them
yeah,
soon.
It's... Jesus Christ.
It's
Yeah,
coming.
perfect. That's perfect, Charles.
We're doing the stream like this.
Yeah, sure. For an amount of time. It's not gonna be funny for long. Or short, maybe.
It's been 20 minutes.
In
It
yeah,
has
in
indeed
like
been 20
you
minutes.
know. Well, I don't know. I don't even have anger left. Michael Jones said testicles. That's
Damn.
That's your peanut allergic friend, right?
Yeah.
Aiden Schneider just
You're not
said
gonna tell.
testicles.
Oh, the one that he almost killed?
Yeah, the one that William almost killed.
Okay.
William, remember the time? I guess you wouldn't know that, William. Yeah, I'm going around school telling everyone the story of how you almost killed your best friend.
Nice.
It's like the kid who shit himself into my dad's car meme, you know that guy? Where he goes, stop telling everyone that I shit myself in your dad's car, and he's under the kid's contacts in his phone as kid who shit himself in my dad. Uh-oh, I lost myself.
Charles!
So I can't find the part that's me.
Jesus fuck. Okay.
Why is that not taking up the whole screen anyways?
Shit, I have to add it now.
You have to re-add it?
Yeah,
Where is it just going to be
now
sitting
we
there
have
off
two
screen
videos.
forever? Yeah, well, one of them's just gone. William, I don't appreciate the fact that you're on a different Discord server right now.
We're talking about Minecraft, it's fine.
I don't need no loyalty.
What do you mean?
Well, Minecraft.
What? He wants you to play
No,
Minecraft.
this isn't turning into a game stream again. Last time we did that,
That was
it killed the stream!
Okay.
The video just ended.
Yeah, your computer probably can't do that very well.
No, it 100% cannot. My computer's barely designed to be capable of running the game on its own, much less streaming it live. Everyone peer pressured me into. I don't want it to be comically large anymore. I was trying to put it back to normal
It's
size.
there. It's.
I'm putting it back to normal size. In fact, I'm going to be comically small now.
But the OBS is still in there.
Could we? What if we just put like?
Delete OBS.
Yeah, why is that ever a thing on there?
Eyeball. Hit the eyeball. It's gone.
Wow. What if we made me like the game size, where I was like the little guy in the corner, and then the main screen was just censored hentai or something? But like it didn't move. It wasn't actually a game. It was just sitting there for the whole stream. Do you think that would be? Do you think that would be? Do you think?
That's how you get your YouTube channel terminated.
No, that's how you get
It's
views, you
censored, I
know.
think that's how
Yeah,
you
if it's
get
censored, it's fine, you know.
You just need to like make the title something. I checked the analytics, by the way.
Mhm.
I discovered that we actually got a number of people just found that video. The one of our videos, the podcast with
The hentai one.
Yeah, the hentai one.
The one with
found that from
porn.
searching the word hentai. So people were looking for hentai and they settled with our podcast.
I'll be honest, that's not that surprising. That's not that surprising.
It's gained 10 views since last time since I checked.
Wow.
That's our
So it's
best
still getting
video.
views. It's now at 182.
I gotta say, there is something to be said for that, right? So, you're new to YouTube, right? You don't exactly know how it works, but you're like, so I just want to watch porn, really. Like, I'm not sure how this whole YouTube thing works, but I just want to beat it, you know? And so you do the thing, you know, when you're a little kid, you just go to every search bar that you can find, and you just put in bad words. And so then someone goes like, hentai. And like, I wonder what YouTube has to offer on hentai. And they don't realize that YouTube is now like, you can't
Are we
just
cornering the market on
watch that.
YouTube videos?
It's possible.
I
If
think the other ones
if
were
we just
like-
put the word hentai, because the reason I'm saying is because obviously clickbait is nothing that's new to YouTube, right? Like thumbnails and also titles have been full of bullshit for decades, you know, or at least a couple decades. And they use like all those big keywords that, especially like the ones targeted at little kids. You know, you have shit like the Elsa Spider-Man videos where they just go like, girls are gonna search Elsa in the YouTube search bar and boys are gonna search Spider-Man. So we put them in a video together for no reason, so that in the title you can go Elsa Spider-Man gone sexual gone wrong. I don't know what that. I guess that's appealing to the pedophiles, right? So you get your trifecta of the main YouTube market. And
I think we're also cornering that market with that video.
evidently so. So that's nothing new. But now that I think about it, have you ever seen a clickbait video that just straight up says there's hentai in the title? Usually not, right?
It's actually there. So
And it's not a lie either. There really is just hentai in there. It's just censored. Exactly.
Because, well, it's
So it's not-
censored, the whole thing. You're welcome.
It's not technically clickbait.
My executive decision.
It's not as cool if you always say it though. Every single time we bring up a video, William goes, "Hey, did you know that
Well,
one
this way,
single
when
frame
they
of the
know,
video is not censored?"
They'll go back to watch it to check now.
Anyone who doesn't know doesn't want to see the hentai. Anyone who is remotely interested in seeing hentai has clicked on the video and watched it. Only the hentai parts, but they've watched it.
Yeah, but they'll go back and watch it again if they didn't know to go frame by frame.
Everyone knows that.
Trust me, Charles, we're gonna get like a few more views. I'll check the analytics out.
Not because is the analytics gonna say they watched the video because of what you said on a live stream? Do you think the analytics are capable of telling you that?
No, but if you game them, I'm going to assume that it was...
That's an unfair assumption because they could have just found the video. Anyways, so we haven't actually started the podcast yet.
Which students know he's watching.
Howdy, folks. I'm Nim Jickles. Don't talk over the intro. I know this is like your. So, Jayden, have you ever watched any of our content at all?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know if you understand this, but you don't talk over my fucking intro.
Charles does like his intro.
Let's start again.
Got it.
Howdy, folks. I'm Nim Jickles. This is the Ain't That a Bitch podcast, episode 29. It's the big 29. Okay, very important number. If you remember, 10 episodes ago, episode 19, we did the first ATAB live. We streamed live to YouTube. Nobody watched it. The people who did hated it. The audio was terrible the whole time.
It has the most views in the hentai.
Well, that's a glitch. I don't know. That's not true. I don't know what that is. There was no more than 7 viewers on at a time. The only people who actually, also, it's not that they liked the stream, it's the people who were nice enough to me as a friend that they were willing to watch the whole thing, left halfway through for a debate thing. If you leave again for debate, by the way, I won't forgive you ever.
I don't think we have debate today.
Thank fucking God. So they left halfway through. They're back again, by the way, as you just heard. That's Alice and Ding Dong, that one. And this new guy, Jayden, who's like, you're like in 10th grade or something, right? So like basically a fetus that can talk, but you know, he knows more because well, it's just the kids today, you know so many things. They understand all this tech that us old uns, including my brother who's younger than you, but whatever. But he understands all this newfangled technology better than us, so he told us how to like get our stream set up and things. You're not gonna get paid, by the way, but like if you wanna, just do that full time, just every 10 weeks set up a live stream for us, that'd be great. You won't get anything.
Your stream's pretty much set up for next time, so you should be fine.
Don't count on it. Don't count on it.
What does that mean, Charles?
Well, we did the stream last time, didn't we? And it was a piece of shit, but like at least we were streaming, and then we came on this time and you were unable to do it at all. So I feel like it wasn't set up that well.
You didn't like the idea of using the boombox.
Why would I like that idea? Why would I like the idea of playing audio?
That's what I'm saying. That's why we had to change it.
So
unless next time you want a different way of recording their audio, we shouldn't have to change it.
I feel like there's a lot more problems than just that. I feel like we have a lot more issues than just the audio. I think there was. We also have.
Charles, there's an issue.
I told you. Okay.
The audio on stream is very bad.
Oh, the audio on stream is echoing so hard.
It's echoing with the.
Goddamn, William, you better sure as hell better be muted, or I'm gonna.
He's muted.
What's the issue?
I don't know what the issue is, but it's just
the stream itself. The audio is echoing.
I think it's the stream. I don't think it's the
Did you deafen ATAB open? Because you might be hearing us from ATAB open and the stream, which would be stupid.
Yeah, no, I believe them more than I believe you.
I don't believe them. Sure.
Unless they're getting my audio from Discord.
Oh, fuck.
Wait.
Charles, I think it might only be your audio.
Fuck, yeah, no. Of
I
course
think everyone else's is fine.
Because it's... William, we shouldn't be recording audio from this microphone, should we? We shouldn't be recording audio from the microphone. Because it's getting the audio from Discord. My audio is going into Discord.
That's not how that
Holy
works.
shit, we have half an hour of this echoed. Yeah, it totally is.
No, but because if you listen to Discord, you don't hear yourself talking.
Well, they do, apparently. They're hearing... But they're hearing me in...
They're hearing Discord. And Discord...
Well, then what's the problem? They say
know,
it's
you're just
bad.
wrong.
I told you the audio was an issue. You said it was fine, and that was a lie. We're gonna watch ourselves on stream for a
If you
second.
want proof that it is happening, go into a different room and watch the stream on like your phone or something. You will hear it.
Okay, everyone be silent for a second. I'm gonna.
Okay,
It's
wait.
gonna blow everyone's mind.
They're hearing Discord.
Yeah, it's totally
Yeah,
valid.
okay.
Well, then what's the
Like,
problem?
it's
They
both
say
us
it's
and
bad. I
us.
told you. I told you the audio was an issue.
Which means
said it was
it's something
fine.
on your end, not Discord.
Oh!
What did you do wrong, Lim?
I did. Well,
In what way is this your fault? It's of course your fault because I didn't do anything.
Shut up. Yeah, that's true. You don't do anything.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Shut up.
Fix it then.
I'm doing that.
Do it faster.
So basically, shut the fuck up.
No, that's my job is to keep talking. I can't shut up. I'm doing a show.
Okay, then don't talk to me though.
Anyway, so this is the podcast.
Howdy, folks.
If you remember last time we did one of these, it was not good. But we're doing it again because I don't know. We're gonna do it every 10 episodes apparently. What did you do, Lim? I guess I should just get into it. I feel like too much attention was paid to the stream before because no one wants to look at my stupid face. I don't know why there's the visual thing.
It's just how streams are.
Exactly. But I'm just gonna ignore it and just go on audio. Oh, but the whole thing's fucking the audio is shit, so there's no point in me continuing onwards. I might as well just shut up and just wait until it's fixed. Is it good now?
Because there are two of these, right?
Why do we have even? Why do we even have to? What? Why do we not only have one thing happening at once?
Okay, I'll just wait till it catches up and then on the stream and I'll see if it fixed.
I don't believe this. So, working on the assumption that the audio isn't terrible anymore. So how long has it been like that? Have you guys checked it at any point before now?
I can go back in the stream. And
Yeah,
see
you can
if
just-
Go back.
yeah, we should probably check. See if it's been.
It
from the
hasn't been
beginning.
happening since the beginning. No, it hasn't been happening since the beginning. I want to
Oh,
I'm
say
okay.
20 to 25 minutes in.
Good to
Maybe, I
know.
don't
Thank
know.
you.
So you have the input and the output.
So,
Maybe I'll just, you know what?
this is why. So Jayden, you remember when I said that it wasn't going to be good to go for next time? You remember that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what you
you
mean
starting to
now.
see what I
I
mean.
think it started from there. When you said that.
Okay. Alright, so the audio
It's
broke
gonna be
right
black
before I
right
mentioned
here,
the
but-
Tor browser.
That was a while ago.
No.
That was quite a while ago. Yeah, I realized, Jayden, you might have gotten the wrong impression because of how incredibly smoothly putting on women's clothes and filming that went. But I'll be honest, that was a pretty simple maneuver. This is
Yeah.
very far,
Best
very much
way.
out of our league. Speaking of which, like Jayden, I appreciate finally someone with the same like camera sense that I have of anything that's happening. Pull the camera out and start recording it. I appreciate that.
And then you have it for future reference.
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, well, exactly because
Jayden just does it for blackmail purposes. Is the issue.
Or just looking back on it later on and just laughing at them is great.
well,
Yeah,
if
you
he's
need to
gonna
send me
use
that
it,
video.
if he's gonna use it for blackmail, it's not a concern of mine because I mean I'm recording everything anyway. So
You also recorded it.
yeah, it would be really
I
weird to
think
blackmail
it's
someone.
blackmail Ding and David.
Yeah, and
Well, I think
that's
it's just David, because I'm fine with it.
right. So that
That's
doesn't
true.
bother. That doesn't bother me that much. David, I don't know. He can hold his own.
It's just David.
David.
Why
is
are
on
we
his own.
why are we off center now, Lim?
Oh, why is
Oh,
it?
you can fix
Oh
that.
my god, the
How's
stream
the
is
audio?
not.
Is it worse?
Oh, let's find out.
Oh, the audio is fine.
It's good now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that implies that
The
something
audio
else
is
is
fine.
wrong. So then what isn't?
Never mind, it's not
It
anymore.
is not.
God
It is
fucking
not.
shit.
What?
I blame you, Lim. I
It
think,
was fine for a second.
No, it's still bad. I don't know what
how
it
is
is.
it fine?
Echoing.
You must be doing something.
No, the thing that was
No,
fine
what
for a
did I do?
second.
I don't know, because you stopped working on it.
Oh my
They said
God,
it was
it
fine
was
for a second, and you
the
went to this. And
Really?
Oh,
God damn it, what is
because
wrong?
I didn't hear him echoing when
Oh, it
talking
was
over the
fine.
microphone.
Oh, yeah.
I hate so much. I just like I don't. It doesn't seem that complicated. I know I'm letting other people do it because I have no clue even where to begin. But in theory, it shouldn't be that complicated. It's just sound and giving that sound to people at the same time that you're saying it. People do it all the time, every day, all day. It's called radio. I mean, goddamn. I don't want to keep talking because it's just going to sound like shit, but I don't want to just stop the stream.
Hear me out.
It doesn't necessarily sound bad. It's just echoing. It's terrible.
Hey, does anyone have a fun story to share?
Oh, they might not be able to hear what I'm looking at.
Sorry.
We're just testing. That's fine.
Should we tell the dress story?
Do we want to?
Well, that's going to be a video at some point.
Either they won't hear anything, or
true.
they'll hear perfect, and I need to wait till it catches up so that we know.
Yeah, I got that. That
so
said,
don't talk yet.
No, shut the fuck up. So that said, what I was saying actually though about Jayden was that we might start using you as a secondary cameraman just because I'm not omnipotent. I can't film everything. So if there's something that I miss, I might go to you for it. In which case you'll become
Fuck yeah, we did it.
Does it sound good?
Not
You guys
bad enough.
Among men.
sound good now?
Yeah, we did it. Right?
No, I'm not taking your fucking
Can you
seal
guys
over for
come-
Yeah,
we're
no,
waiting for
stream's
the
good
Asians.
now.
The stream's
Yeah, it's
fine.
good.
I'm an Asian.
Hell yeah, you're 50% Asian women, and you're like the lower 50%.
Yeah,
if there was such
audio
a thing,
sounds fine to me.
if
Yeah, the
You're like-
audio is fine.
you're like when you cut the bagel in half, and it's technically in half, but one side's way bigger than the other, you're the smaller one.
What does that mean?
Look at your hair.
That's not anything to do
That's a
with Asian.
fair
This is
argument,
curly hair.
actually.
This is my white part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your skin, and your nose, and your tiny ears.
Shush, this is why I wear
that a
headphones.
white
I'm insecure
people
about my ear size.
Wait, that's
Well,
a white people thing?
I can
That's
tell
what
you.
white people.
Well, I can tell you, it doesn't look like Johnny's monkey ears. So
I think
Okay,
smaller
but that's
is better than
Johnny.
bigger for certain
Yeah.
things.
Like, I feel like
Anyways.
that's just Johnny.
might be. That's irrelevant. So we sound good now. So I can actually start the show 40 minutes in.
Yep.
Yeah, you can start it.
Okay, good.
I think that was less amount of technical difficulties than.
No, yeah. Well, in the last episode, it was the whole first hour. So we're 20 minutes up.
This was just happening.
We're ahead of the curve. We're ahead of ourselves with this one. Let's slow things down a bit, you know.
You'll learn.
Anyways, so our high school's famous. It's in the news now.
Yeah.
We were all in
guys
the
are
news, and they went and
Oh
filmed
yeah,
us.
great.
And I didn't see any of it. I was at school. So basically, for context, we had one case of COVID-19 at Henry Wisewood High School, and then a second one, which qualifies as an outbreak, I guess. For some reason, people have felt the need to debate over the semantics of what an outbreak is. William doesn't like the word semantics, by the way. And I don't... That's one of those things where we get new words with new meanings that are given to them exclusively for defining things that relate to COVID-19, and that's, I don't know, that doesn't make any sense to me. An outbreak is just a shit breaking out in a place where it wasn't before. Usually a disease, but not necessarily. Like, an outbreak can be fucking anything. You're gonna have pimples outbreak on your face. It's not the point. They're gonna shut the school down if we get like 5 cases or whatever, which is not a lot. They've already sent home a bunch of grade 12 students because anyone who was near or in contact with the cases is in trouble. And yeah, so some guys came and filmed the school, and I saw footage of the hallways, like one of the staircases, didn't see that. And then they just filmed everyone at lunch, and they were out front, they were filming the front of the school where most of the people are, and it's kind of surreal. It's like watching, Morgan Freeman narrate a National Geographic documentary on human beings, to see them just being like, here we see the students of Henry Wisewood High School enjoying their lunch period. And it's like, I was eating. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird thing. Didn't see it though. I was in the parking lot the whole time, and I don't know how I missed it in its entirety. I went back into the school and I didn't see shit. I don't understand it. people got fucking interviewed. Like, they got bona fide interviews. Did you guys see this video, by the way?
You can play it on stream.
We were-
You could find it.
They were like,
I haven't seen it.
We were there for it.
yeah.
You
We were
can-
just
Like, we
no,
were
we were
in the
covered
front.
perfectly by the dude's
We got
shoulder.
the dude's shoulder because we were right next to the trees, and we weren't covered by the trees, but we were exactly covered by that dude's shoulder. Otherwise, you would have seen us in the background. Just
Oh,
being
great, now
completely
we're gonna
idiots.
be
Waving and pointing the middle finger at each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
were
don't know how to
like-
find the video, so forget it.
Alright, you guys don't get
It's like
to see
on
it.
like CTV News.
Yeah, it's probably just on CTV.
It's on
We're on
CTV.
every major Canadian broadcasting service.
CTV Global, isn't it?
How do I get out of this again, Lamb?
Out of what?
FN F11.
Yeah.
I just
Either
learned how
way,
to
there
use
was
my
just
own
a bunch of-
laptop.
Yeah, I figured it
bunch
out.
of
Anyways,
news.
yeah, William, let's put the video on. Just send me the link, okay? I don't want to do the research myself. That's your job.
Link to the
Yeah. Anyways, I guess we can play that at some point. Well, how are you gonna? Anyways, dude, people got interviewed. So a girl I know got interviewed, and like, that's crazy. We're famous for being one of the schools. I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I just didn't think that our school would be one of the worst ones. I remember coming to school like a couple days into classes starting, and people were saying like, look at those schmucks at these other high schools. They've already got cases and are gonna be shut down if they get many more. I'm like, losers. I'm gonna get to stay in school because our school is gonna take the necessary precautions. And now look at us. We're one of two schools that are getting singled out for being shitholes of coronavirus. What the
I think
hell?
there's 3 now.
Well, I don't remember asking you, but I guess.
Three.
Well, at any rate, so now our school is at risk of being shut down, and that's not a welcome possibility. As far as I'm aware, the online class situation has only been getting worse and worse. Definitely not better. I don't know what they expect us to do. I don't know. I want to fucking go to school. What do you guys think?
I think a lot of us would rather like go to school in person than online.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we chose to come. But like,
We
what do you
chose to go
think?
back.
Yeah. What do you think's gonna happen though? I mean, are we in trouble?
Oh, I give it like another 2 weeks. I give it
Maybe
another
you are
week
in
at
trouble.
best before we have to be sent home.
Yeah, because like we already have 2 and 5, and like 5 is the point when we're
5
gonna
is the
be sent home.
cutoff.
5
Right.
isn't very much.
Yeah.
Which kind
A
of
lot of people are still being tested,
but-
so probably by the time test came back, we're probably gonna get quarantined.
yeah, I know a bunch of
Well, solution, guys, just lie. Say that the test came back negative.
I mean, I
Like,
feel like
I
that's
don't-
not a great idea.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
claim ignorance.
I'm also pretty
I
sure
mean-
the school knows the outcome of your test even
Yeah.
without you telling them.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
Alberta Health folk just give it directly to the school.
Just
It
tell
was a
them.
joke. It was a joke, just like when Donald Trump said to vote twice. Oh no, wait, he was serious. My God. So that was another thing that happened, right? So this guy Squidward came out with this audio that he got, recordings that he got of Mr. Donald President Trump doing an interview with him, and just damning himself to hell, which is really fitting because to be damned means to go to hell. So there you go. But yeah. So Woodward, that his actual name. When I said Squidward, that was a joke. But this Woodward guy is apparently trusted by Donald Trump enough that he just completely outed himself in all, like, every way possible.
Genius, man.
It makes no sense. I don't understand it. It's like a huge contradiction. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know if the full thing is out yet, but I got to hear clips just on the radio that they played, which was neat. And so one of the things, it's a whole shit show. I think it's coming out as like a book as well called Rage, was it? What was it called? whatever. Basically, the conclusion that people are starting to come to is like, hey, Donald Trump is like mentally ill. I think he's a sociopath. And I don't know why it took us so long to get to that conclusion, but basically what we got is I got to hear this clip of Donald Trump talking about the coronavirus in like January or February, I think, before it blew up in the United States or really anywhere. At this point, we only knew China was having issues with it, and they were kind of not telling us a lot. They were hiding a lot of numbers. But let's be honest, they told us more than we actually listened to. Like China said, hey guys, you should wear masks for this because that keeps you from catching it. And we were like, we really don't know anything about it. Masks might help. We're not sure. And then 3 months later, we were like, it's all fucking China's fault. They hid the truth from us. They didn't tell us how bad it was going to be. They told you some things. You just didn't listen. But so now we have these recordings of Donald Trump talking to Woodward, and he's like, first of all, he sounds like a totally normal person. I mean, he's no scientist, but like, he's talking like how actual intelligent, educated people talk when discussing coronavirus. Talking about how the things that they know, like, we know it's not transmitted like through the touch. We know it's transmitted through, or we don't know how if it's like transmitted through touch. We know that it's transmitted, through the air. We know that it can be transmitted through breath and into the lungs, and just shit like that. Talking, being perfectly reasonable, and more or less saying he knew that the coronavirus was going to be way more severe than he turned around and told the public. So, everyone knew from the beginning that he was an idiot when he was saying to everyone, like, this is not going to be bad. We're going to have a vaccine in, 2 to 3 weeks. Just inject yourself with, like, Lysol or whatever. And don't wear your masks. Masks are for weaklings. All that kind of stuff. We knew that was ludicrous, and that he was basically murdering the American people. But now we just have him straight up saying, like, yeah, I know it's pretty bad and we need to take precautions. And then, days later, he goes to a press conference and says, we're not going to be taking any precautions. That is, like, 1.5 degree murder or something. It's like, I don't know what the term for it is, because it's like premeditated manslaughter, which doesn't exist. I don't know. I think we may have to invent a new term of murder for what Donald Trump has done to America, because he basically, it's kind of a trolley situation. Like, he was setting up the American people in a way where he knew they could die, but he didn't technically kill them himself. He's just like, I'm going to make sure people aren't saved from the coronavirus, but they might still not get it if they're lucky. I don't know why he did this. Maybe it's like a Survivor thing. So there's this story I read. If you guys about Survivor, the reality show, right? It was like, that was the reality television show that made reality TV into a big thing. Yeah. Basically, and it's kind of terrible, right? Because it was a huge deal. People would watch religiously. Now they got other better stuff, but it was like put people through these trials in groups, and then at certain points, people get voted off the island, right? And it got really cutthroat really fast, and they were just getting normal people, right? So, and then thrusting them into, and if they won, they would be thrust into a world of fame. Everyone would know their name and stuff, and it basically just ruined people, because on the show, of course, they would be at each other's throats, trying not to get voted off the island or whatever, and that's just within their own team, not even talking about how they feel about opposing teams or whatever. And then again, even if they won, it would just be like winning the lottery, but it would be like if winning the lottery required you to stab your friends in the back. So they would win and then be super famous, and then they just kind of fall apart from it, because it's like you didn't really do anything to get there other than be better at being a shitty person. So anyways, it wasn't a great show all in all, its effect on the world, and I don't think it was even that good of a show to watch. But there was this one story in particular of this guy who was like not the first, but he was the first big, like, I never saw a picture of him, so I just kind of imagine him as like the Tiger King. I just see him as like Joe Exotic. Anyways, he was just this guy who was like super in it to win it. He was extremely cutthroat, ruthless, and like would do anything to win. And so he actually ended up being the first to like discover a lot of secret things that were hidden into Survivor. I don't know what they were, but it was just like, I don't know. He fucking found stuff that would, I guess, I don't know, give him vote immunity or something. Anyways, but the shit he would do is like he would compromise his own team. He would go in the middle of the night into like their tents or whatever and pour out his teammates' water. And I guess that was just a thing of like control. Like I guess if he had the only water, or just to make them suffer so they would listen. I don't know exactly what it was for, but it was just kind of like whatever the case was, he would have the upper hand, right? Like even if he didn't technically get anything out of it, the fact that they were thirsty as hell and like dying and he wasn't, I guess was enough validation for him to be like, this puts me in a better position. Which sucks. That's an awful thing to do. Please don't do that in any situation. But anyways, you just do shit like that, and that's kind of what I'm getting out of Trump here. Is like he's not really gaining anything, but he knows that for whatever reason, the people who were going to vote for him in this election are still going to vote for him. Probably even after we see this audio, but that's not the point because no one was supposed to hear this shit. But now we are going to, and hopefully people are going to see it. And I think one of the big things about it is showing that not only did Donald Trump he lied and inadvertently semi-directly caused the death of a whole bunch of people, but he knew he was doing it, right? And that's the big thing that people are just like, it's like this shows that Donald Trump knew when he was saying that the coronavirus was not a big issue. He knew it was far more severe than he was letting on. And I just didn't realize that was a surprise. People are saying like, I didn't know that Donald Trump that's actually really smart, turns out. And I'm like, yeah, I've been saying that for years. How do you think he got elected? It was so weird to me. Even so, I was listening to this in the car with my dad. And like after we heard the clip, he was just like, "Oh, that's so weird." So Donald Trump is hey, Isaac Larson is fourth. What do you want, a fucking award? I don't know why Isaac always feels the need to announce himself viewing a video. I mean, I'm glad you're here, but that's the most unoriginal thing you could say. I would rather you just like come and call me a cockbite or something. Like just something more interesting than a number. Anyways, thanks for joining, Isaac. So what I was saying is, we listened to that audio, and then my dad just turns and just goes like, huh. So Donald Trump really is smarter than he acts. So he really does act dumber than he is when he's like in front of a camera, or when he's given a conference, when he's speaking in public. He acts dumber than he really is. He talks like an idiot. And I was like, yeah, I've been saying that. Like, we would have discussions at home about Trump, and I'd just be like, I've been saying, yeah, but he's smarter than he acts. Like, he's acting stupid. And I guess my dad just kind of ignored me and disregarded that entirely. But yeah, I've been saying ever since the 2016 election, Donald Trump is obviously, I said this on a podcast, he's obviously smarter than he acts. The stupidity is an act. He's insane, don't get me wrong, he's mentally ill, but he's not stupid. And I mean, I feel like that should be obvious. First of all, he won the election, and it should be obvious that whatever he acts like is an act, because it's outrageous, it makes no sense for politics, but is successful. And what the business he was in before politics was fucking reality television. He was doing shit on TV, like he's an actor. He was in fucking Home Alone 2. He's a bona fide actor with acting credits. I'm not even shitting you on this. And then before that, he was a businessman, which is also just, acting, but you make a lot of money acting too, I guess. It's like acting, but you steal the money from people instead of getting paid legally. His whole life is just, acting. Has been being an actor, more or less. And politics is no different. Politics is 100% an act. So what's the big reveal here? This makes perfect sense. But what's good is just to know what exactly he was, because I knew he was acting. I knew what he was doing on stage. Like, it was very obviously intentional, because he knows who he's appealing to, and it's idiots who can't understand words that are over 3 syllables long. So, and that includes Andre, because Andre likes Trump. So, So he would use very simple 1 to 2 syllable words, short sentences, broad statements that would just get your attention and just sound like you knew what you were talking about. This is fake news. This is a hoax. This is bad. This is bigly. Very, very simple language, straightforward, goes right to the minds of the idiots that are apparently a majority in the country of the U.S., which I don't know what to tell you. I can only defend them so much. But now that we know that he lied, this kind of raises a contradiction, right? Because now we know he's smarter than he acts in public. But the fact that we're seeing this evidence of him in private when he's having a private conversation, which was an interview, but I don't know. So this is what I mean. He can't actually be that smart then, because apparently he was stupid enough to entrust this Woodward guy with all this information. Did he really think that was never going to get out? That's like if instead of, people making racist or homophobic tweets, and then 17 years later their boss finds out and they get fired. That'd be like if instead of that, you were to directly tweet those racist or homophobic things at a news reporter and be like, but don't tell anyone. And then they did. And when they did, you were like, surprise Pikachu face. It's not that surprising. That's what they do. They report on things that you say. You're the president of the United States of America. Very bizarre. Very weird. I don't know what's gonna happen. I read a thing recently on Reddit. It was like a no stupid questions. I love, by the way, the subreddit no stupid questions. Even if you're not big on Reddit, no stupid questions is a great place because the whole point is it's super welcoming to anyone, even the biggest idiots. And I'm a person who asks a lot of stupid questions. I have a lot of things I don't understand. Maybe I should go on no stupid questions and actually figure out how to use Discord. That would be great if I could figure that one out. But it's great because, at least a third of the questions asked on there, I'm like, hey, yeah, I kind of want to know that too. And then I go and, people very patiently explain it to the idiot and me how those things work. And then I learn. The more you know. So I love that subreddit, and it's great for not wanting to embarrass yourself. It's so good for when you're so embarrassed of a question, when you have a question so dumb that you're embarrassed to even let, Google see it when you type it into their search bar. But recently I saw a post on there, and the question was why America has the Electoral College. And again, that was one where I'm like, I kind of wonder that too. Well, no, I don't get it. So then I went, I knew what people claimed was the reason for it. And that was people saying, because there's just unintelligent people. Well, first it's to give, equal representation to all the states, which is all right, I'm all for proportional representation, but it's not that proportional when you give, when the smaller states have more voting power, because there's less people, their vote counts more. It's that doesn't seem very fair. And then the other thing people say is that just because there's idiots who vote and don't know what they're talking about, and so you have the Electoral College who are supposed to be more educated, I guess. But then people explained it in a way that I think is a little more honest. And those explanations that you get are really more like excuses trying to defend why the Electoral College still exists. So basically, the Electoral College is the kind of thing that was implemented way back when the United States was first actually founded. So it's a very old system. And like most things that began at the start of the United States history, it's outdated. And I don't know why people have trouble seeing that, but they do. It's like Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms. When that happened, arms was like a gun. I mean, it was like a revolver, which has 6 shots. You fire that 6 times and you are no longer capable of killing anyone. That's a way better deal than being like, you can just carry fully automatic weapons in school zones. But we equate them as the same thing. That's completely different. Can you imagine when they wrote the law at the time, where they were like, yeah, this is America, we're free, you should be allowed to have guns, and the guns fire 1 shot every 3 minutes. Now they fire like 300 shots a second. What are you talking about? In what way does that make sense to be the same thing? And guess what? Back then, you'd have to have like your father's hunting rifle that he handed down to you. Now, you can buy weapons at Walmart. Those are entirely different things. Back then, children threw rocks at each other and survived. They ate off of lead plates. Now, children touch nuts and die. Children roll in the grass and die. We are weak as shit. And you're letting them have those fully automatic weapons near school children. And you're saying that's the same thing as when they first let people start using guns, when guns were pieces of shit? In what world? Outrageous. So apparently the Electoral College is the same thing. I don't know why I talk so slow. That's a weird thing that I was doing. So apparently the Electoral College is a similar situation where when America was first founded, it was like the states are, well, because the whole thing with America, if you don't know, is that the states are supposed to have all the power because its purpose was to be as different from Britain as possible. And at the time we had the British monarchy, there was a king, King George, he was running everything. And that included the 15 colonies, which was the original United States. Holy shit, it better be 15 colonies. Yeah, it was. And did you ever find that video, by the way? We were gonna play that, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I've been looking for it.
Oh my god.
It's nowhere to be found.
What's up?
Like
News
the
one?
one of the video of like Wisewood?
Yeah.
I have it if you want it.
Oh yeah, okay, just throw it in the Discord.
I'll
I'll see if I can put it up. Yeah?
Yeah, that's the article. It's in general if you want it.
Cool, thanks. Anyways. Here, I'll finish this and then we'll play it, okay? So, the whole point was the 15 colonies got pissed off at Britain because they were taxing the shit out of them and basically just doing whatever they wanted. Because Britain had tons of colonies, more than they knew what to do with. They had Canada, they had the 15 colonies in the south, you know, they had Australia, which they were using to send prisoners to. They had India, which they didn't even know what they wanted that for. Well, no, they had India, they wanted, you know, spice and labor. They had, like, Shanghai, and I don't know what they wanted Shanghai for. And, like, Taiwan or whatever it was. And they were just constantly bullying everyone else in Europe, so they were crazy, right? And the 15 colonies were just like, no, we're sick of this shit. So then they fought back. They won because we're great, and we threw a bunch of tea in the harbor because, you know, we drink beer or whatever. Anyways, and they declared their independence, and so a big thing of that was we're not going to have a monarchy, which is great. Monarchies suck, and we're going to have the opposite of a monarchy, which was okay at the time because it was 15 colonies. I mean, it was like the Greek city-states. It actually made some sense. It was small, very few people, close together over a smaller amount of area. And the idea was that the colonies were going to more or less become independent. It's funny because they called it the United States, so the colonies became states, and they were united, but only united in that they weren't part of Britain. Like, they were united against Britain, but really the idea is they wanted to give them individually as much power as possible. And then Washington, the first president, would just kind of be there like he was a president. President before the United States made the term president mean leader of a democratic state. A president just meant like president of a club, which is what we still use it for now a lot. And now that gets confusing because you think it might mean like leader of a country, but that wasn't a thing. So Washington first declared himself a president. That just basically meant he's like the guy who goes to the he's like the guy who goes to the meetings and like stands up at the front and says like, let's start the meeting, and then he sits down and everything else happens without him. Like, he didn't have that much power, and he didn't want it because that was the whole point. He was just a general, and everyone fucking loved him, and they were like, you've got to lead this country. And he's like, well, all right, if you insist. And they're like, we don't want a king, though. And he's like, well, I don't want to be a king. And they're like, hell yeah, this works great. You can see why America was founded on some pretty great principles. It's fallen apart, but we came from a good place. So they basically just gave the states all the power. They're like, each one of you can run yourselves like your own fucking country. I don't give a shit. Like, all we do is the state, federal government is just supposed to take care of you. You know, they're just supposed to defend you from being like, if Britain or Canada is like, we want to suck up, I don't know, Maine or something, because Maine was like just edging itself towards Canada more or less. They'd be like, fuck no, we're part of the United States. And they'd be like, okay. And then Maine would turn around and be like, but we want to have completely different laws than you. And they're like, that's fine too. It was awesome. It was great. It was just like totally symbiotic. Then America was like, let's go and get more. And what that meant was they were going to manifest their destiny west. Everyone knows this, I'm sure. Basically, they were just like, dude, look at that desert over there. You could build a sick-ass casino there. And they're like, hell yeah, let's kill everyone who lives there now. So then they went and killed all the natives. And some of the Mexicans, just because that happened to work out. So they moved west, and then way more states. Eventually, now there's 50. And and a lot of them are way bigger, way more open space. Just look at the map of America. It hasn't changed much, right? The 15 colonies and a few newer ones that weren't, that were still older, are all along the East Coast. Tiny, tiny little things. I mean, they're like nothing. Look at Connecticut. Look at Maryland. Look at, I pronounce that like an ass. Look at Massachusetts. Like, Massachusetts is a huge deal. Boston is a huge deal. But Massachusetts is a tiny little piece of shit on the map. No one cares. Like, I took shits bigger than Massachusetts. Rhode Island. Holy shit. Rhode Island hardly even exists. Delaware doesn't exist. I think it's just a name on a map. I don't think, if you were to drive to where Delaware is on the map, I don't think you would find anything. You just like not be at Maine yet. I don't know. You'd be like in Vermont. Anyways, point is, that's all the East Coast. That was like the 15 original colonies. They were like tiny as shit. They were just whatever. Easy to run. Now you move west and you got tons of open space. You have just enormous rectangles all over the North America. And they're just full of cowboys and Native Americans who are like, leave, cowboys, and then the cowboys shoot them. And they're like, we can do that because it's the United States. And casinos, eventually. That's Nevada. And weed, that's California. So it's way more land, way more distance, way more people, way more states. And you still want to run them all individually like their own goddamn tiny little country. Like, I don't think there was 50 states, and by state I mean like city-states, in Greece. Also, by the way, that's why they're called states and not provinces, because state, I know it's confusing and annoying, but when they came up with the term, states usually means like a country, but broader, because a country is, I don't know, has to fall under some criteria to be defined as a country, but a state is just any government body that's like isolated from any other ones. That's a state. And so that's confusing for a lot of people because the United states are smaller than the country, but the country is the state. So it's like the state rules the state. It's weird, but that's just because that was kind of the idea, is that each state is like its own self-governing body. And people, again, still really hold on to the idea, and they think it's a really great idea, and they just don't get that that is an old, outdated idea. I'm sorry. The federal government needs to have more power. You need a slightly more unitary government, because it's just, what's going on now is a mess, because then you have people, different states have different laws about things, and that's generally fine. Some states want to legalize weed, some states don't. Whatever. But you have issues with, like, there's no border control. So you're in a state where weed is illegal. You can drive like 3 minutes into a state where it is, and then drive out again. You drive in, get baked, drive out, like, that's legal. So what's the point? And then the federal government makes a decision, top-down decision of something like the Supreme Court saying abortion is legal. And then states are like, no, it isn't. And they're like, it is. You don't get to, and they're like, no, the state gets to decide everything. And that's not always the best course of action, because then states just, are able to work their way around things, because loopholes are great. Loopholes are the worst thing ever. Where they do shit like make the requirements for an abortion clinic to be outrageously expensive so that it's not worth having. So now no hospital, even though abortion is legal throughout all of the U.S., they make it impossible. So the state, wherever the states are where they don't want you to have an abortion, they just make it nigh impossible to find a place that's willing to spend the money to have an abortion clinic that's up to the codes that the state sets. So it's all kind of nonsense like that. And the other thing is the Electoral College. So the Electoral College is based on that state system, again, starting when there was 15, 16, 17, 20 states. Now there's 50, and each one of them is like an equal power vote, and they're supposed to vote based on the popular vote in each state. So again, it's like each state is like its own country having the federal election in their own little world, where they go, Trump versus Biden. And that's why you have the United States, whenever they have their elections, it can very easily be broken up into like red states and blue states, because that's exactly how the final vote goes down. So the popular vote does count somewhat, but you can have a candidate get elected who didn't win the popular vote, because the smaller states still get one vote in the end out of 50. Also, is it really out of 50? Because that's an even number. That would be terrible. Maybe DC gets its own vote. That might make sense. Washington, DC.
I think DC does.
Maybe Puerto Rico gets a vote. Probably not. Anyways, so the electoral colleges are supposed to go, a majority of people in this state voted for this guy, so so the state votes for that, which sounds like it more or less makes sense. But again, some states like Wyoming has the population of half of a county in Texas. Wyoming could fit in one city in Texas. I think I said this on the podcast already. If you took everyone in Wyoming and put them into Austin, Texas would be like twice as large, and Wyoming would be empty. The population of Texas would hardly change. That's insane. But whatever Wyoming votes for has the same power at the end as whatever Texas votes for. That's crazy. So that's where you get issues of, the small states, the rural country states are often the ones that vote more right-wing because they're uneducated. I don't know why it's so hard for us to connect the dots. We have perfectly well-educated people being like, hey, conservatives got a point. And it's like, do you see who's agreeing with you? It's the farmers. And don't get me wrong, farmers are great. We need farmers, absolutely. But they don't know shit. They know how to do a track. They know how to fix shit. They can do like everything, right? Because farmers, they gotta be fucking scientists and engineers and everything. They gotta wake up early as hell. They gotta be strong. So they're great. They do everything. They don't have to be that smart. They definitely don't have to be that well-read. They don't have to be politically smart or socially smart. They just have to be work smart, good with their hands. I mean, all that shit you learn from apprenticeship. You could never go to... Actually, a lot of times you don't ever go to school, and then you can become a perfectly good farmer because your dad tells you to do exactly as he does. Easy. That doesn't make you a smart person. You're a very useful and helpful person. So anyways, that's the people you're agreeing with. They're the ones who are like, yeah, Trump wants to fucking eat Canada and fucking like make a baby with Putin. That sounds like a great idea, because they don't know any better. They're still living in a world where they're pretty sure that gay people is a hoax. Like, they're not even sure if they exist or not. They don't even know what how communism's going. For all they know, the Cold War's still happening. Crazy. It's nuts. So that's the deal with the Electoral College, if anyone was curious. I think I was going somewhere with that, but I lost it when I started just recounting the history of the United States as an idiot. That's what this is. That's what this episode is going to be called as well. The history of the U.S. as told by a person who's from America but doesn't know shit about America but is in Canada. In other words, the worst conversation to ever have. Hey, does anyone new actually come to listen to this, William?
That's a good question. How many viewers does
There's
it have?
2 watching.
Damn, 2 people! Holy shit!
Oh my God.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Okay, Dang, are you one
How's
of
there
those
2 people? There's 3 of
Yeah,
you.
I'm one of the people watching.
I'm the other one. I'm assuming that. Jayden, are you watching it?
Hey, I'm not on it.
Yeah. No, I'm not watching.
Huh.
I don't count for myself. So.
Oh, there's only one now.
It just went down to 1. Ah, that's.
Because it's just me and Alice then.
You know, it's the thought that counts.
Huh.
It's one big viewer.
Yeah, like the VOD
I've
later
just
would be the VOD would be
keeping it on.
hilarious.
I've just been keeping it on in case something happened with the stream.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
There's
it's
a little something.
whatever. It's gonna be uploaded eventually. There's no reason for this to be live other than that we didn't record it beforehand, and just because it's episode 29, we wanted to do it like this. So whatever. So that's the thing. What else is happening in the world? I went to see a movie. I guess yesterday, Friday. I went to go see a movie. Movie theaters are opened up again. And we got some new movies out for the first time in 6 months, which is exciting. I love seeing movie trailers in a theater, just because it's been so long. We saw the Wonder Woman trailer, and honestly, it looks great. It's going to be like Cheetah, if anyone knows any of that. Like, I know I railed on DC pretty hard, and their movies are shit. I'm not going to apologize for that. But Wonder Woman was all right. This looks better than the first Wonder Woman, let me say that. But it's still a prequel, so that's the other weird thing, right? So the guy is back. The guy who we thought died in the first Wonder Woman. Did anyone here watch Wonder Woman?
No.
No.
Whatever.
No.
Yeah, Charles, you're alone on this one.
So they, I've been alone for an hour and 20 minutes, so, that's nothing
Yeah,
new.
we've just kind of been letting you talk.
Which is fine. I appreciate that. It's better than interrupting. But, so the first Wonder Woman movie took place at, like, World War II, right? And so just some pilot crash landed on their Amazon island, and then she went with him.
Oh, wait, I did watch it.
Fought in World War II. Oh, my God, Alice.
Alice.
Just so far pressed into my memory. And then he started talking about it, and I realized I had watched
And you
it.
guys, oh wait, I have seen this.
Like, dude, I forget watching movies. I forget when I watched a movie when I was 10 or something, but, like, Wonder Woman came out in, like, 2017 or something. Anyways, so Wonder Woman took place World War II. She met the guy, the pilot, and then he, like, dies at the end, right? But he's not dead.
No.
He like flies the plane off. He flies his plane into the sunset and then blows up or something. Anyways,
Saves them all.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that's debatable. It's World War II. We know what actually happens.
I don't remember what happened in that movie.
She like talked. Well, she's talked about dancing and then didn't dance. That's all I remember from that movie. No, I remember a few things. It was okay. People said it was great, but that's just like people have been waiting for a good DC movie for a while now. And as far as DC movies go, it was all right. It was all right, but in the grand scheme of movies, it was just okay. Wonder Woman 2, it's Wonder Woman 84, so I assume it takes place 1984. So it's still in the past. The guy is back. The pilot's back, and he'd be old, right? Whatever. So she's not any older, but he's gonna be old now.
He'd be like, maybe like 50, 60, right?
Well, okay, so
he's like around 20 in like World War II.
Yeah, if we assume it was like, well, I guess if we assume it was the end of World War II, just give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he was, pretty young, like 19, 20 years old or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, he'd be a nice middle-aged man, and she's still Gal Gadot, so I don't know what's supposed to happen there, but he's back, and I don't know what's going on, but for whatever reason, Cheetah's there, and she's, like, angry. I think so she's connected to the Amazon somehow, and she's, like, jealous of Wonder Woman, and is like, I'm gonna kill you because I'm the villain. And so she, at some point, turns into Cheetah, and like I was all for it because I was like, hey, Cheetah, I actually know that DC villain, and they're all right. It's weird that Wonder Woman, the Amazonian who's dressed in Stars and Stripes for whatever reason, just fights a cheetah. Again, I've already talked about this. DC characters, you can say the comics are better than the movies. The characters still make no sense. But the way they did it looks all right, but it's giving me way too much of a flashback to Cats. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. Yeah, it feels way too much like Cats.
Oh no.
Furry woman.
So it's that kind of cat? I thought you meant like a full-on CGI, like cheetah. I didn't think you meant like.
No, it's not Wonder Woman. Just animal abuse for an hour and a half. It's no, yeah. Cheetah is a woman. I know I said I was gonna play the.
Oh.
I know I said I was gonna play the news thing, but whatever. Anyways,
just imagining Wonder Woman abusing a cheetah for like a solid
that would be. I would watch that movie too. I would watch that movie too. Wonder Woman, and just in the city in 1984, there's a cheetah that just breaks into the city, and Wonder Woman has this.
Oh, that's terrible.
The funny thing is, that's the kind of thing that could be the plot of a comic book, just because there's so many of them and they're so short. There could 100% be an episode, be a one edition where it's like Batman stops a bull from trampling people in Gotham, and it's like that would make a terrible movie. Anyways, no, it's a cat girl, which Alice can't spell.
Shut up, okay? That's a one-time thing.
It looks.
I realized afterwards
that it's really obvious, yeah. But anyways, it looks okay. Wonder Woman goes gold at the end of it. I don't know what that's about. Like, if that's just gonna be an Aquaman thing, again, like her armor becomes all gold, and it's like their character designs just don't look great. I know they got to take artistic licenses, but just look at what Marvel's done. Iron Man is way better in the movies than he looks in the comics. Captain America, huge improvement because he just looks like a soldier that happens to dress in blue, whereas like in the comics he has scales for some reason. That makes no sense. His armor, like his outfit's got scales. It's spandex and scaly. Bizarre. So they made a lot of improvements, right? And then there's characters like Deadpool who looks almost exactly the same, and Spider-Man, and that's because their character designs were brilliant from the start. And then DC's like, I don't know, they've had a lot of trouble with Batman. Like they gave him nipples on the suit at one point. That was weird. Dark Knight was great.
Wait, what the fuck?
You don't remember the Batman nipple suit?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that exists.
Damn, Batman.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah. Did you guys not watch Lego Batman? Did you guys watch the Lego Batman movie?
No.
Oh, the Lego Batman movie is awesome, and it's like Into the Spider-Verse. It's super self-referential, so they reference their own nipple suit. They're like, remember Batman? Because they were pretending like it was all connected. So they're like, hey, Bruce, remember? Alfred goes like, hey, Bruce, remember all those phases you've been through? And it was just going through all the different iterations. William, how do I put this on screen for them? I got a picture of Batman with nipples.
Oh.
Actually, let's just get the full thing.
Batman
They haven't. They said they haven't.
That's insane.
I guess I just save the image and then throw it up there. Anyways, and then Superman, they pretty much just kept the same. But like Man of Steel looked alright. Anyways, then they did stuff like Aquaman, where they tried to give him that. Did you guys watch Aquaman? They tried to give him his classic looking suit with the colors at the end. It was weird. But then he also went all gold.
I didn't.
They just make everyone go all gold. It's weird.
Because it's a sign of power.
They need better artists doing their like concept art and stuff.
Honestly, that kind of just reminds me of Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel was also they didn't go very far with her.
No.
I didn't know she existed until I watched Endgame.
Until the
Oh, you didn't watch the movie?
I knew she had a movie, but
I didn't know she existed.
It wasn't a great movie. Can you guys see the nipple suit?
Not yet on the stream, no.
See, I only knew about her from film theory, like that she existed. And then she
Fair
actually
enough.
showed up and like
Yeah.
There it is.
And I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
nipple suit.
it's a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing. Oh, I think I have seen it.
Yeah. I don't actually remember which Batman that is. Is that like, who is it? Which
one?
Batman?
Oh, I see the Batman picture on stream now. Oh dear.
Yeah. Which Batman had the nipple suit?
That's a Google search.
Yep. Why did... okay, but who played him? Jesus Christ. So, anyways, DC, whatever. The movie looks better than most of their other ones, but still not amazing. Then it was immediately followed by a Black Widow trailer, and it looked great.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was coming out.
I'm excited as hell. I talked about the Black Widow movie years ago. Not years ago, but it felt like years ago before quarantine because it was going to come out. And then quarantine hit and they just had to push it back. It was ridiculous. So I talked about the Black Widow movie in like, I don't know, episode 12 or something. It's great. It's been a long, long time. Yeah, Sean was still like doing audio for the show. Anyways, and I was just I talked some things about it. So new developments. Crossbones. I don't know if they actually changed his design, but he looks better. It might have just been bad angles in the first trailer or like teaser trailer. He looks way better. He looks like Crossbones. Crossbones is one of my all-time favorite villains. I already talked about him a lot in the Black Widow in the other episode, but that was, no one watched that. And no one's going to watch this, but whatever. You guys are here now. I didn't know you when I talked about it before, so now I do. So like, I mean, I know no one here is like a serious. Where the hell is Projwell? Why get Projwell's ass over here? Like, Jesus
dead.
Christ.
Projwell went to cut his hair like over an hour ago now, and now he's selling his Xbox on Kijiji.
What? Dude, fuck that motherfucker.
He texted me like 5 minutes ago.
That's what he's doing now. Okay.
He texted me 5 minutes ago asking why he was getting emotional.
Get over here.
Get on the Nim Jickles.
I mean, I was kind of joking, but whatever. So
now he's saying he doesn't want to sell his Xbox.
Batman is Val Kilmer. I never even knew about that one.
Wait,
okay, so Nipple Suit Batman was not a very well-known Batman.
Good question.
Anyways.
Okay, he says he can't join the Discord thing because of homework.
Okay, you can tell him he's a fat-ass motherfucker.
Jesus Christ, okay.
But that's okay. I forgive him.
I just think Charles curses you.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But forgives you.
I cursed him out. Anyways, yeah, no. I know none of you guys really give a shit, but Black Widow, so, I'm not going to rehash the old stuff. We all know. Anyways, this takes place before Endgame, and it's about her going back to the people she knew from her Red Room training, getting back her old team. There's the big Russian, like, Captain Soviet man. I don't actually know his name. And all of the girls that she trained with. So if you look at the trailer, the new trailer they got, there's a bunch of shots of like a bunch of women who are, first of all, their enemies because Taskmaster's taken over the Red Room, which I don't know. I'm sure that happened in the comics at some point, but like he's not. I don't think he's a Black Widow villain. He's more like a Shield villain in general because he's not like he doesn't have superpowers. He's just a smart guy with a bunch of cool tech. So, like I said before, perfectly suited to fight Black Widow on her own. In movie logic, like if you were to go up against him versus Captain America would be amazing. But if you were to go up against the Hulk or Iron Man, he would get the shit kicked out of him. But by comic logic, he can, hold his own. Anyway, so for a movie, it's perfect for him to fight Black Widow. But apparently, he's taken over the Red Room. So this is like Civil War, but without the Civil War. This is like the actual plot of Civil War that caused them to fight each other, which is like Zemo when he goes and finds the super soldiers and stuff. And they thought I keep hitting the mic. I'm sorry. And they thought he was gonna go wake up those other super soldiers and create an army of super soldiers to rule the world with, which honestly he probably could, right? Because he could have done that, which is just I guess supposed to be a thing of like, that's his character. He's really smart and he could have basically ruled the world even when like Ultron and Loki failed. But he didn't, because he just has a personal vendetta against the Avengers and wants to avenge his wife and kids. He has nothing, he doesn't want to have anything to do with ruling the world, which, I mean, you might consider that making him a virtuous man in some way. Whatever. So that was, they thought he was going to do the army of super soldiers thing. Basically, Taskmaster is actually doing that. So he's creating an army of Black Widows, right? But full Russian, no shield. And Black Widow's like, we should stop this from happening. And so they do. And that's awesome, because I've wanted to see more about the Red Room, because they showed it, you know, they showed some bits of it in Ultron. And guess what? I have a feeling they're not playing it up at all, but this is going to be a way better female-centric superhero movie than Captain Marvel was. I'm sorry, but everyone knows this. I don't know anyone who doesn't know this, but when you build up and point out to audiences that a character is meant to be like a symbol of feminism and female empowerment, that just makes it less effective, because you're pointing out how that's not the norm. You're being like, hey, look at this woman. She has power. Isn't that strange? It's not strange. You're supposed to be telling people that it's normal for women to have power. Why are you making it special? That's the opposite of what you're trying to do. And I can tell you why they do that. It's because the people who made the movie were, first of all, it's a bunch of white men who made the Captain Marvel movie. They don't give a shit about female empowerment. They just want to make money, and they know that if you have a female superhero and you push it as a feminist movie, that's... The critics ate it up. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what there is more to be said. Like I said, everyone I know is more than well aware of that fact, but the movie still gets made. Black Widow's coming out. Just look at every way in which it makes more sense. She's a well-established character in the Marvel Universe. It's not like Captain Marvel. Everyone knew Captain Marvel was going to show up at some point, but in the terms of the cinematic universe, she hadn't shown up at all. So she has to have an origin movie and the movie right before Endgame at the same time. Like, that's too much. So Black Widow's already a well-established character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We already know quite a bit about her and her relationships with other characters and other Avengers and things. And we know stuff about her from, like, Winter Soldier. She had a lot of talks about what her life is like and why she does what she does to Captain America. And in the first Avengers, she had character moments with Hawkeye talking about, like, I got red in my ledger, like, I've done bad things. We all knew that, but, you know, if you were just watching the movies, never read the comics, you'd be like, who's this Black Widow character? Oh, she's done bad things? Good to know. And, you know, they reference things like Budapest. And then, of course, finally, Endgame. It's like, she makes that final call of, like, this is kind of right. I kind of deserve this. I didn't even know my father's name. That was another little character detail. So we know quite a bit about her. We already have made a decision on whether or not we like her character, so the movie doesn't have to convince us. That was a big issue with Captain Marvel, was they basically came and were like, this is a female superhero, so you're gonna like her. So they came and went like, instead of being like, let's make Captain Marvel, you know, likable, write a character that you're gonna love to love. Instead, they were like, this is Captain Marvel. She's got tons of superpowers, and right at the third act, we're gonna have her black female friend go, Captain Marvel is great for these reasons, and you're going to agree with it. And she never really showed any of those qualities. They had her friend come and go like, you're smart, you're funny, you're brave, you're one of the best pilots, you never give up with this and that. And it's like, when did she do any of this in the movie? She flew one thing and she was a little bit funny some of the time. That's about it. Mostly she was just cocky and brash. I didn't hate the movie, all right? It had all the issues that I kind of expected it to have, so I wasn't disappointed. Black Widow, you come in and you already know. If you like Black Widow's character from what you've seen in the movies, then you like it. If you don't like it, then, well, at least it's Scarlett Johansson. So the movie doesn't have to tell you anything about her other than, like, backstory and lore, but it doesn't have to tell you Black Widow is like this. You already know that. They're just going to show it to you and show you how that applies with when she's in her element, not with the Avengers, which she's always said is like, more of a fantasy than a reality to her. You know, when she goes in Ultron, she's like, I had the craziest dream that I was an Avenger, that I was anything more than, you know, the killing monster that they turned me into. And now we're going to see how she acts around the other people when she was turned into that killing machine. That's fucking awesome. And Taskmaster, God, I love Taskmaster. I'm not going to rehash it all, but his whole thing is he has no powers. He just has like a photographic memory and photographic like reflexes, and he watches when someone fights him. He learns their fighting style and can mimic and counter it. That's it. Super smart, basically. And so with that, like I said, yeah, technically all-powerful cosmic characters like Nova or Silver Surfer, Captain Marvel, or Scarlet Witch, for that matter, could probably come and just, you know, universe beam him off the face of the earth before he even had a chance to know what was going to happen. But let me put it this way. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to stake the claim that Taskmaster could beat Batman. That's right. Motherfuckers, you heard it. I'm saying Taskmaster is better than Batman. Eat a dick. Batman is smart and rich and has gadgets, and according to my friend, Batman with preparation time beats everyone. Meaning that if you give Batman enough time, he can research his enemy, learn his opponent, and learn to counter them perfectly. Guess what, motherfucker? Taskmaster can do that on the fly. So Taskmaster doesn't need preparation time. You go up to him, and and in 3 moves, he already is ready to fight you. And if you give preparation time to both, that just gives him more of an advantage. So if you had Batman and Taskmaster never met each other, they fought, Taskmaster would be able to adapt to his fighting style better and defeat him. But Batman might happen to have some tech on him that Taskmaster wasn't ready for. Like, he can call the fucking Batjet and the Batmobile and shit and just rocket launcher him to death, right? And Taskmaster, as a guy who fights with a bow and arrow and a shield and sword, it's not very... He's not exactly... They're high tech, but whatever. But then if you give them preparation time, it's like Batman's learned everything he needs to know about Taskmaster, but Taskmaster's learned everything he needs to know about Batman. And then once they actually fight, Taskmaster continues to learn more about Batman while they're fighting, whereas Batman's just stuck with whatever he had already come up with. Like, I'm just going to say it. Yeah, I think Taskmaster could beat Batman. I think he could beat the shit out of Batman. Batman ain't got shit on Taskmaster. Taskmaster is fucking amazing. Go fuck yourself. Just go kill yourself. Death battle, all you. Everyone who's ever pitted Batman against a fucking Jedi Knight, against Darth Vader, against Harry Potter, against God himself, and like, I think Batman could still pull a win out here. No. Go to hell. Taskmaster's gonna kick his shit in. Anyways, so, yeah, I saw that trailer right after the Wonder Woman trailer, and I'm like, right after being like, Wonder Woman actually looks really good. I hate to admit it. And then I watched the Black Widow trailer, and I was like, this looks so much better. And it's going to be one hell of a female empowerment movie, as long as they don't say it. It's like knock on wood. It's like jinxing it. Just don't say that it's a big feminist movie, and it will be an awesome feminist movie, because all the villains is an army of female assassins, and the heroes is a whole bunch of older, more well-trained female assassins, plus one fat Russian dude. You could explain that to anyone with no context of Marvel. That sounds awesome. That sounds amazing. A bunch of badass, sexy, leather pants wearing female assassins and one enormous buff Russian dude with a huge beard and a beer gut. That sounds like an incredible movie. I would watch that no matter what.
But you know what's more incredible? A trailer that came the one before Wonder Woman? Greenland.
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Dude, can't wait to watch Greenland in theaters.
I'm gonna point out that I started talking about this because this is just trailers I saw in a movie theater. I still haven't said what movie I watched, and I'm still not going to. I'm getting there. No, you're right. The trailer that came before the Wonder Woman, before the Black Widow trailer, was this movie. So this is what we saw, okay? You already know the title now.
Wait, are we allowed to watch that on stream? Because you could just like...
The trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Trailers are... Okay. Let's throw it up there. Green...
Amazing.
So this is like a disaster movie, yeah? How do I put it up, Lim?
Just go to here. So go to your
They're playing a trailer before the trailer. Wait, they're making another Bond movie? Holy shit! Oh, I knew that. I knew that.
Alright, pause. Why is it muted?
Because I muted everything.
Wait, wait, what?
Dude, there's 3 people watching now. This is insane. Who's still here?
That might be me.
Yes.
Going to...
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm back on stream now. That might just be me.
I think that's just Jayden reading.
I'm so impressed. Well, if you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic, but... Yeah, the other one. Greenland trailer. That's the one. Okay, so you guys will see this in a little bit.
Okay.
Who cares?
Hop over here.
Full screen it. So this should show up for you guys soon. I'm just gonna play it.
Yeah, eventually.
Is this Clark, this interstellar comet? Yeah, big news.
I hope it's loud enough.
I don't see Clark.
Oh, maybe he's still sleeping.
Dad.
Some of Clark's larger fragments are now expected to enter our atmosphere.
That's right, and now these are just... What are they saying?
More of the same.
It's gonna make a heck of a show.
Whoa. Where are they going?
I don't know. When the first chunk is about to hit.
Hit?
Only part of it. It's going in the ocean. Would you look at that? Wait, where's the explosion?
Yeah, there it is.
We now are getting word that the fragment has hit Central Florida.
Oh my god. Wait, are some more pieces gonna hit?
Come on, let's go.
But the sky's on fire.
2 days. They got it all wrong. There's a ton of fragments. Planet killers.
Space agencies are predicting an extinction level event.
We're gonna be together, all right, kiddo? We're just trying to get to safety.
They've been tracking the military flights to bunkers in Greenland.
It's our only chance.
Move back! Perimeter breach. Perimeter breach. Runway 33.
Drop your weapons now! Allison! Nathan! Allison!
Where's Dad?
We'll find him. It's okay. Clark's largest fragment will hit in less than 24 hours.
I swear, I'm gonna get my family into that bunker. I know you will, son.
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately.
What is it? What's going on?
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately.
Hang on, Nathan!
Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately.
Oh my god. Ah, man, and William and I, we just broke out. Okay, can I get it back to me now? William and I, we just broke out laughing in the theater for probably a minute and a half. I just couldn't believe it. All that build-up. Very classic looking like end of the world disaster movie, you know, nothing new there. Comet's gonna hit Earth. Been done a million times before. They called it Greenland. Like, it's like a spin-off of Madagascar.
Yeah, where'd they get the name Greenland from?
Because they said they're going to Greenland.
Yeah.
No, they say in the trailer that they're going
They said
to
one time in the trailer, they're like, in the trailer, they're like, there's bunkers in Greenland, and they're like, I'm gonna get my family to that bunker in Greenland.
Stupid name for a disaster.
Dude, Clark would have been a better name. Just name it after the comet, Clark.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Insanity. Crazy, and somehow that's the worst thing about the movie. After we stopped laughing about the title, I just stopped and thought about it. I was like, that's a stupid movie. I mean, again, the disaster movie thing has been done a million times before, and they're usually not that good. But this one, it's got some issues, and this is just the trailer. Like, okay, the comet, they predicted it was going to land in the ocean, okay? And you know what? Okay, predictions can be off sometimes. That's understandable. but it was so off. They thought it was going to land in the ocean, and it landed in Central Florida. Center, the middle.
Jesus Christ, that is bad.
They realized after it already entered the atmosphere.
No, it already had.
They realized that after they had there was a camera aimed at the ocean, and they didn't realize that it missed until the camera didn't see the comet. And that means one of two things.
Kind of a dead giveaway, you know?
Either they're right, like by the time it's about to enter the atmosphere, you should be able to fix the calculations at that point. Like they literally just went, they saw it in outer space, and like they did the calculations, like it should land right in the middle of the ocean, and then they just sat back and called it a day. They're like, we're done. In a month when it actually hits, everyone's gonna be under the same assumption. That means one of two things, right, about their calculations. Either their calculations were so off that they thought it was going to hit somewhere far out in the ocean, and it was like hundreds of miles inland to Central Florida. Or if you give them the benefit of the doubt, say maybe their calculations were only a little off, that means that even if the comet was going to hit the ocean, it would have been the ocean near coastal Florida. It would still have caused tsunamis. It would have still killed hundreds of people just from the landing in the ocean, washing over all of Florida. That wouldn't be much better, and they were like excited about it. That's nuts.
Oh, half the thing's gonna disappear. Let's watch.
They didn't like miscalculate the size of it because they said it's extinction level.
Yeah,
it's like, that's not gonna change.
Exactly.
Wherever it
So
lands.
the one shard was supposed to hit the ocean, and it didn't. It hit Central Florida. They knew that there was a bunch of other shards. They all hit Earth. Did they think they were all going to hit the ocean? They miscalculated like 16 pieces of comet.
Maybe
if you're gonna miscalculate one of them, okay, at least be closer for the next one.
Like they didn't even calculate the others. They just started coming, and everyone was screwed.
Yeah. Do you think the people in the room, like who were watching it, they were just like, "Holy shit! It hit Florida. We were totally off." Oh, well, at least all the other ones are gonna miss.
You know, who needs to double check things that have like multi-megaton yields? Power.
Oh my god.
Who needs to double check calculations, not the movie.
And it's called
That's unnecessary.
Also, again, they were saying and they were saying like, and also let's just talk about the fact that they're going to Greenland. This is the most this is the most Western-centric movie ever. They're saying, this guy says it's an extinction-level event, these comets hitting, and the first shard hits Florida, right? That's the southern tip of the United States, the southern tip of North America. And they're like, let's get as far away from this comet as possible. Let's go to Greenland. Did you know there's a whole other hemisphere? You could go to Asia. You'd be on the other side of the planet, but you went to Greenland. Get a guy.
Because that makes sense.
Nothing happens in Greenland.
But like, if this is extinction level, like if you're saying these comet shards are enough that they're going to, let's say, wipe out the United States and Canada and Mexico, like that's the radius. It doesn't have to be much bigger to get Greenland. Whereas if it's big enough to get all that and even Greenland, it's still nowhere near if you just go to China or Australia. Like there's people there. They built cities there. I don't know if you heard. They got civilization.
The planet.
Mao is dead. You can go to China now. New Zealand is great.
Charles, the airplanes blew up though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Also, someone shot and blew up an airplane. Like in the middle of a crisis, you want as many people to survive as possible. As blow up one of the means of transportation. If I can't make it to Greenland, no one can.
No, I think it was like, they would say there was like a criminal breach, and they just started shooting people trying to get on these planes.
Oh yes, it's a crisis that's going to kill me. Allow me to commit my crime now.
Yeah, it's like the purge. I'm gonna start looting.
The military dude was waiting for the time to shoot in random innocent civilians. Now's his chance.
Now is my time.
That's much of a extinction level event if it's just gonna like wipe out Florida and that.
Exactly. If
it doesn't even reach Greenland.
If you're safe in Greenland, then it's not extinction level. Like,
really isn't.
Yeah, no.
I don't think they thought that one through.
No, I think they're saying like the first one that hit in Central Florida was not extinction level, but the biggest one that was coming in less than 24 hours was supposed.
Yeah, you're not going to be safe in Greenland.
Like, either way, going to Greenland wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, they'd still die.
On Earth. We learned this from Plague Inc. and it applies to comets as well. Trust me.
Like, there's only so many shards of the meteorite that can hit. The big boom doesn't come until it hits the Earth, and then so that like the surface area of the shard itself is not that big. If everyone got in a plane or helicopter and flew, across the ocean trying to get to the east as fast as possible, a lot of them wouldn't be hit. Very few planes would actually be hit by a piece of asteroid on their way. And guess what? Those might get knocked off their course and actually, it might actually end up way better as well. Like, everyone should just be flying the second they hear about it, not driving to Greenland. Also, they're driving to Greenland. Where
You're not there in 24 hours.
That's not how that works.
Especially if it was extinction level, because that usually also means kilometer tall
then why are they
tsunamis.
going to Greenland? Okay, like it doesn't.
I mean, yeah,
you just stand in your house and watch the world.
Because Greenland seems like the
They have
super far out
less
place where
than
nobody
24
exists.
hours, and they're driving to Greenland.
Yeah,
It takes
even
13 hours to drive to BC.
Even if we just assume Greenland is actually going to be safe for whatever reason, because Greenland has a localized force field over the entire country. Like, you're driving, and at what point are you going to get on at what point are you going to get on the Apocalypse ferry that actually takes you across the ocean to Greenland?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Because let me tell you, it'd be way faster to just take a plane from whatever city you're already in instead of driving to you're gonna drive to like Iqaluit or something? You're gonna drive through Canada into like the
And then
territories?
Just, somehow get to Greenland from there?
They don't have roads there. You can't even drive that far. have you seen the map? It just becomes a bunch of shards of ice. You're gonna be driving over plates of ice floating in the water.
Not even roads. You have to take fucking snowmobiles. What are they gonna drive on?
Those monster trucks that we went to see, like the icebergs and stuff.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Even those can drive over a goddamn ocean. Not gonna lie.
God. No, yeah.
So-
the first issue is just getting across the fucking ocean to begin
We are
with.
going to have to watch that though.
Yeah, we're totally gonna watch. No, never.
How do we?
Yeah, I don't think that's a movie that's gonna be watched anytime soon.
So
No, you should watch it. Tell us how it goes.
Oh, you told, watch it. Let us know.
yeah, that was.
Like, how long does it take to drive from Florida to Greenland?
I want to know.
That's a good question. Yeah. How long?
Alright, so
The film theory's coming out.
Would you even be able to make that distance in 24 hours?
I don't
No,
think so.
there's no way.
Like, no way you can go that far in 24 hours, right?
Dude, the film theory's already the film theory's coming out on Friday. It's like of how long it would take to drive to Greenland, Florida.
Well, that's it. You're just looking
Where
up
are they
on
based
stuff.
in, though? Are they
Take
in
to-
Florida? They're driving from Florida.
Presumably they
to
start in Florida,
yeah,
right?
because you see the shockwave.
They're near. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think they saw like the second piece hit or something, which can't have been that far. So they're near Florida at
No, I'm
least.
assuming it's.
But
Yeah.
At best, they're
Then
in
you
like
can just
northern
assume
Florida.
at that point.
Sorry, we could not calculate directions from Florida, United States to Greenland. Google Maps doesn't even know how to get
Gee,
there.
I wonder why. Maybe because that's not something you do.
I mean, if you flew, it's 7 hours. It's 7.5 hours to fly from Miami to Greenland.
Okay, then no way you can drive that. No.
From
There's
Miami.
zero possibility. Zero.
Oh, yeah, no.
All right, let's get. Okay, I want the red line to show up.
yeah.
Show me the course.
It's not showing up for me.
Yes.
It refuses.
What road do I take to get to
Yeah.
Greenland from Florida?
So you're gonna have to turn off the 95, and then drive across the ocean. Drive across the Labrador Sea. Yeah, the closest you could get driving would you'd have to stop at like Newfoundland, Newfoundland and
swear to God,
Labrador.
they're gonna get in like a fucking rowboat at the end of the movie and then get.
They're gonna row to Greenland. Absolutely. The ship's gonna break and be like, get in the little lifeboat, and they're gonna paddle with their hands.
Either that, or they're gonna be like in the middle of the United States, like, oh, we totally, we have no way of getting
crazy.
And then it turns out that the other pieces actually just hit the ocean.
So yeah, that looks way more underwhelming than Wonder Woman or Black Widow.
Yeah.
I
can't wait to watch Greenland.
That being
I
said,
low-key want to watch it though.
Honestly,
it'd be funny.
Yeah.
we'll do.
I low-key want to watch it.
We'll do a movie review on it.
For the new rock stars.
Yeah, just send us a movie review later.
I mean, it can't
Okay,
even be. It's probably not even going to be bad enough to be that interesting, to be honest, because we've already got movies like 2012 and like Bird Box and everything. Like there's so I Am Legend.
You never
There's
told us what movie you were watching.
I'm getting to that. So the movie that started
Get into
after
it,
all
okay.
those trailers was okay. So it's the new big hit Chinese film 800, about the Japanese war in China. Okay, so this was during World War II. While all of Europe was busy worrying about who Germany was going to rape next, China was already mid-rape from Japan, and they got raped through all of World War II, and nobody who was white gave a shit until they Japan, like, I guess, did a few tabs of acid, took some shrooms, and they're like, let's bomb Pearl Harbor for no reason, and then they got nuked twice. It didn't work out well, and so it wasn't until then that America was like, let's fuck up Japan, but not for China's sake, just because we don't know what this thing does and we want to find out. Twice. So anyways, all you guys who are here, I'm sure you're more than aware, if your parents are true Chinese, they will have raised you with a deep-seated hatred of the Japanese.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't hate them, but she definitely doesn't like them.
Yeah.
She constantly goes off on like how Japan basically.
Oh, for sure. I have a family friend.
Okay.
I have a family friend, and she told her mom, So my mom's friend, and I know her daughters, right? Her oldest daughter is 4 years older than me, so she's in university right now, and she's really into Japanese culture and things, right? As is, I mean, and who isn't? Anime and the like. But her mom evidently considers it a serious possibility, threat, you might say, that she will actually marry a Japanese man. And that's like at the top of her no list. That's her greatest fear as a mother.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Under no circumstances.
The biggest no.
That's like the greatest fear in her life right now. So
like under no circumstances is that allowed.
So she wanted to get her daughter. So she told my mom that she's gonna go take her. She did actually take her daughter to go see that movie to be like, you see, the Japanese suck. Don't marry one. They went to war with us one time. You can't marry one. 800.
The 800.
So the 800, right? So the 800 is a movie that was made, and I think the set design was done partially by one of my mom's old classmates. That's the main reason we went to see it. My mom, not into horror movies at all, right? That's not her thing. And the only reason we would watch a Chinese movie that's in Chinese is because our mom would take us to see it because obviously we got to read subtitles and whatever. It was a good movie, don't get me wrong, but like, so she only went to see it because her old classmate came and was just like, hey, check this out. I worked on this movie. You should watch it. Support me. Which is a great analogy for what I'm going to be doing years later when I'm like, hey, friends from high school that I never talk to anymore, watch my latest podcast because nobody else does anymore. And I will be doing that.
Because no one else will.
Every 10 episodes, it's going to be the same thing. Please join the live stream. No one else ever does. So anyways, yeah, the 3 people on the thing. I don't care. Because this goes up anyways. People can watch it whenever. I don't mind. What was I saying? Talking about the movie. So that's the reason we went to watch it. And so yeah, I'm sure you guys are pretty well aware that the Japanese were just like, and the way I see it, I can understand it to an extent. I mean, first of all, they joined up with Hitler and Mussolini, right? As part of the Axis. They were really I don't know what you're doing, but you said you're going to help us, so, why say no to a friend member of the Axis, you know? It's like when that guy joins your friend group, and it's like, well, I'd rather you be in our friend group than, you know, attacking our friend group, so sure, but I don't see what you really bring to the table. That was Japan. But they really popped off, and I guess I can understand it. I can understand it to the extent of, they were pent up. The Japanese, they're a whole country of people that live on a tiny island. They don't get to do shit. They lived everywhere that the island was. They had their whole own, self-contained cycle of warring and making art, and then the military took over everything, and then they were like, let's be isolationists, and the West was like, hell no, you're gonna come and accept our culture. And so then they became hyper westernized and hyper Christianized. Anyways, they needed something to do. They had tons of pent up energy, and they're like, let's fuck up China, they've been around too long. What they didn't realize is that no one fucks up China permanently. There's no such thing as permanent fuckage for China. China has incredible birth control. It's like they have implanted condoms that are also trampolines. And people try and come and take them from behind. They just bounce right out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Japan came and
That's what the analogy is.
Yeah, and so Japan came and metaphorically and physically raped a lot of China. And that wasn't great. That was a really bad thing to do. For no reason. China did absolutely nothing. They were just like, I can see you from across the sea. We're going to invade you now.
We're going to annihilate you.
I mean, yeah, dude, if Russia curved down, they succeeded for a while. If Russia curved down and covered that eastern end of China, Japan would have just invaded Russia. And actually, you know what? Who knows? They might have succeeded. Japan and Germany combined might have actually taken Russia. That would have been terrible.
Japan won a thing against Russia before during World War One, where they defeated the entire.
They were
Russian
great. They had nothing to do other than have a great army and navy. They're on an island. So, if Korea had been the entire, eastern shore, then Japan would have invaded Korea. They don't give a shit that it's China that specifically. It's just because China's there. China's big and it just exists. And so we want it now. So they went, they invaded, and they killed a bunch of people, raped a bunch of people. And they just took all of northern China, which is always what goes first. I'm not sure what the deal is. This exact same thing happened when the Jin and the Mongolians came. Northern China went it's northern China is made out of flash paper. I'm not even convinced that it's really there. It's just
comes and goes.
I'm pretty sure northern China is just is actually just a cutout board of China.
It's there sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah, you have southern China, one of those cardboard cutouts of people that are just, when you're far away, it looks like the actual person, but you go up and you find out it's two-dimensional. That's, if you stand far away, you look at China, it's there's the southern China, there's northern China. You walk closer and you're like, this is southern China. Oh, the north is just made out of cardboard. I can push it over. It's two-dimensional. That's what Japan did. But they didn't push it over. They lit it on fire. So they took it over really quickly. And then it was really just the south left. And, of course, if you go far enough south, it's not even China anymore. It's Britain, because they hate everything. Hong Kong, Shanghai, everything. They're just we want it. So there was British, French, European, and Americans just in China watching China get fucked up. So anyway, okay, first of all, has anyone watched the movie here?
No.
Okay.
I think my mom told me about it. Maybe in passing.
Long story short, me and Alice just don't watch very many movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
No.
Well, Alice probably watches a lot of movies and forgets about it. Alice, you might have watched the movie and then forgot.
No, it came out in August 2020, 28. I haven't seen a movie except for the Mulan movie this entire year.
You watched Mulan? Oh God, we're gonna talk about Mulan.
Yeah, we watched it on the
We're gonna Chinese pirate website. Yeah, I heard all the Chinese are doing that. We're gonna talk about Mulan for the third hour of this show. Okay, but first the 800, right? So yeah, it's again, you know about the war, but this movie was very interesting and almost couldn't get released. It was reviewed by a board of people from the Chinese Communist Party, and they were like, we're not really okay with this, so they ended up cutting out parts of the movie. But it did finally get released after they cut it down some, and the reason for that is because the people who are the focus of the movie are not actually the soldiers of the Communist Party. It's the nationalists, the Shanghai nationalists, right? So they are the ones who were like, so they were not with the Communist Party, and because, right, China's always just mixed up, split up, and all around, right? Even when they're at war, it's hard for them to unite. But they were united in so much that, my enemy's enemy. So they were fighting the same threat, which was Japan. But in Chinese history books, you will never find that. So the did I say Japanese? Chinese? No, I said Chinese. Whatever. When they teach you history in Chinese schools, they do not mention that at all. They do not mention the nationalist soldiers helping in the slightest. As far as they're concerned, they might as well have helped the Japanese, because obviously the Communist Party were the heroes. They were the ones who fought bravely defending China's borders against the Japanese. And the reason they lost is because they were, isolated, self-contained, and like they were fighting with their shitty firework rifles. Like it was trash weaponry. They were nothing. They were like farmers and shit. And so this movie goes and shows you that, oh wow, so the nationalist soldiers actually helped a lot because they had like German weapons, because of Britain coming being like, let me put my dick in your mouth, and they're like, the upside to that is you get European weapons, and that was very helpful. So they were better equipped, and it was still China, like it was still their country, so they fought like hell against the Japanese as well. So that's what the thing with this movie is. It shows that the 800 are 800 Shanghai soldiers, and they actually, helped. They helped China. They were very important. And in Chinese history, you just don't learn that. You assume that they did nothing. So it's a pretty good movie. It's very, for a war movie, it's very easy for it to just be a lot of blood and violence. It's just two teams of people, lots of people here, and they just shoot each other until one of them's all dead and the other one's not all dead. And they're the winners. They're the main characters. Simple. And this was not that, which is great. So the story of the movie is the 800 soldiers basically stored up in a warehouse. And they're defending it against a Japanese onslaught. Japan has already taken over the city. They got basically everything, but there's 800 soldiers against, the full force of the Japanese army in one warehouse. And every time the Japanese come in, they've just managed to, through preparation and I guess sheer determination, self-sacrifice, they continue to win. And at the end of the movie, because there's no way, right? They're just putting off the inevitable. So at the end of the movie, funnily enough, it's kind of a different ending, is they actually end up just retreating because there's just no way to win. The Chinese government is not going to be able to send them any help. They're not getting help. They're not getting pulled out. They were really just there to like provide a morale boost for the other soldiers. They were suicide soldiers in the end. So, but to save themselves, at least some of them, they retreated in the end, and so some of them got to live instead of staying and fighting, which normally that's what you expect in a war movie, is like, no, we're going to stay and fight till the end. It just wasn't the practical decision. Their orders were to retreat. So some of them got to live. Now, the other thing that makes this movie very interesting, right? So it's asymmetrical warfare, where it's not just like two armies. It's one is defending and the other is attacking, has a big advantage, but they got, like guerrilla advantage. But then what's really cool is they made this like dichotomy of, you have the northern, not actually north, but the relatively northern side of this river. I didn't do the homework. I don't know what river it is. Which is destroyed. It's hell. Battle torn. The Japanese have taken over. And you just cross this river and it's just a city. They're just living right across the river. There's Chinese people, there's British people, there's Americans just going about their lives. They've got casinos. People are living in their houses. They're reading the news, and they just they look out their window, and they look out and see the fucking Japanese climbing up the sides of the warehouse, visible from across the river. They can see them attacking them. They can see their soldiers being killed, and it's we can't do anything to help you. We're just chilling. And they don't. But it's really interesting because you get these big wide shots of left side of the river. It's lit up. It's a party city. Everyone's happy. Right side, hell, everything's destroyed. These soldiers, a lot of them don't want to be here. A lot of them just got picked up. They were actually deserters, or they're just farmers, or whatever. There was this one guy who's he does calculations and shit. He was in the army, but not as a soldier. But it doesn't matter now. Everyone's fucking dead. Jesus Christ, what was that?
I don't know what that was. What the fuck?
I didn't appreciate that. Didn't appreciate that. Anyways, so a lot of them don't want to be here, and if they can get across this river, they could just straight up go back and live in a regular world and eat food and sleep in a bed, but they just can't. They have, they're not allowed, because that'll bring the Japanese. Basically, the situation is the Japanese aren't attacking them on that side because it's the British controlled part. So if they did that, it would be declaring war against Britain. Like I said, the British were not, they had no reason to, so they didn't help the Chinese at all. Even though Britain was at war with Germany and Japan was at war with China, and Japan and Germany had an alliance, that didn't cross over. So Britain was not didn't have any obligation to help China against Japan. So they were hey, this is technically in China, but this is British land. You don't attack us, because that would be a declaration of war. Then Britain would come. Honestly, I wish the Japanese had attacked, because then Britain would have come and helped, but they didn't. And such is war. War is one of the craziest things, right? Where these things can happen. It's since it's just murder, slaughter, like they say, all's fair in war and love and war. They have no concern for killing these people, and the people on the other side of the river have no concern for the soldiers being killed. I mean, they sympathize, but they're not gonna go and help them. They won't let them in. Some of the soldiers try and escape and leave and swim across the river, and they're no, turn back. We'll literally shoot you out of the water. They're gonna shoot their own soldiers because they don't want to get involved in the war. So it's a bad situation. But yeah, they make use of it so that a lot of interesting things happen. One big scene is the warehouse needs a phone line, right? They need to be, so they can contact their higher ups. So that's something that the people on the other side of the river actually try and help with. They can't go and fight, but it's so weird because, again, the Japanese could attack and invade the other side anytime they want, but they won't, because it's a declaration of war. But as soon as someone steps onto the bridge connecting the two, they're fair game. So Japanese got snipers in other buildings, and so they have these people from the city trying to bring a phone line across to the warehouse to these soldiers. The soldiers can't cross the bridge because they'd be shot immediately. But this is just random ass civilians trying to cross the bridge, and the Japanese are like, you're on the bridge, you're fair game. So they just start shooting civilians. They don't do anything to the people across the bridge, but once they're on the bridge, they can just start shooting them. It's insanity. And so, yeah, regular ass civilians just run across, and they manage to get the phone line across, and a bunch of them die. So those are some people who were, willing to sacrifice themselves to help these soldiers who were fighting for them. And a lot of other people weren't. And so that was a really neat scene. And then the other big scene, like the climax of the movie, is when they raise their flag. So the Chinese soldiers go up to raise their flag, and that's just it's completely symbolic. It's another one of those insane things in war, right? The flag doesn't help them in any way. It's not signaling to anyone. It's just saying, we're here, we've claimed this warehouse is ours, and the Japanese haven't taken it yet. And like I said, the Japanese have had control of the city, and they've been sending people in to fight, And so you might get the impression, because the Chinese managed to win and fend them off quite a few times, you might get the impression that the Japanese aren't going to be able to win this. As soon as they put the flag up, they make it evident that, like, if they wanted to end this, they could. They are not using heavy artillery because there's like a gas thing on that other side of the river, and if they accidentally screw it up, they blow up the city, and then that would be, again, declaration of war. So otherwise, they would just bomb the shit out of that warehouse and it would be over. But instead, they have to send in their troops, which makes it even footing. So again, it's just insane. Like, the Japanese have their hands tied, but at the same time, they can do whatever the hell they want, but just not certain things. It's so weird. So they put the flag up, and they're like, if you put your flag up, the Japanese, it's going to incense them, and they're going to, like, attack us hard. And they're like, yeah, but we'll show them. It's just sticking them. It's just flipping off the Japanese, really. It's just a huge waving middle finger in the air. And so they do it. They put up the flag, and it's one of those things. All the people on the other side of the river, they see it, and it's like a huge thing. It's like, oh my God, these soldiers are not just walking corpses. It's amazing. And for the Japanese, it's like a big fuck you. So they're like, well, fuck you back. And so they send a plane that comes and starts shooting them. And to hold this flag up, tons of soldiers die. They run in like dogpile on top of corpses to hold this flag up. And so many of them die. And they don't take the plane down just to hold the flag up. And in the end, the flag falls down and the plane just flies off. That's crazy. So many people died, and technically they didn't get anything out of that. The Japanese lost. It's just such a symbolic thing where they, in the end, kind of got the moral victory there. And that's the climax of the movie, is them holding that flag up. And a lot of that had to get cut out because the flag they raised was not the communist flag. Not the communist flag of China. It was the Nationalist Party flag. Again, they're not big on that. The Communist Party was not big on that because it's like, you're saying these are the heroes of China and they're not us. That you can't do that. So they cut out a lot of like build up about the importance of this flag and like its symbolism, why it matters so much to put it up. They cut a lot of those scenes out, so that weakened it a little bit. But you still get the idea. Another big thing is the Japanese have like these armored, this heavy metal plating shields, and they form like a tortoise formation, so that which is basically impenetrable, right? The Chinese aren't able to shoot them, and even grenades are just like bouncing off, so they can't get to them. And they basically use those armored shells, like man-made tanks, to run up to the walls of the warehouse and just start like blasting away, picking and blowing away at the walls so they can get in from there. And so basically the only response for this is the Chinese soldiers just start strapping explosives to themselves and just suicide bombing the Japanese people. And I guess that's all there is to it. But that was a cool scene, I thought. And that's the message, right? Self-sacrifice. And it was bad. The Japanese, they got mustard gas in there, which is bad stuff. So I thought the movie was good. For a war movie, it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't just boring death. What happened? Oh, I'm back. They kept it interesting. There was actual story to it, and it was just a little bit of history that we haven't seen before, really at all. It's not like, if it's not in history books, it sure as hell isn't in media, because white people did hardly even know that this war happened, that the Japanese attacked China, and the Chinese knew about it very vividly, but didn't know that these other still Chinese soldiers actually fought and helped a lot. So it was a good educational but also entertaining film for everyone. And that's that. Yeah.
Hi.
Also, I did Google up the thing for Greenland. It's 44 hours to the tip of Canada.
Oy.
You were searching that up this entire time.
I searched that up a long time ago.
Okay.
Just haven't closed it yet.
Thank you for waiting. So yeah,
Well, thank
44
you,
hours.
Charles.
They have 24 hours to drive 44 hours.
Not just that, they still have. They're still in.
Yeah, then they
Newfoundland.
have to
haven't-
get to Greenland. Man. Great movie. So, Mulan.
Yes.
So
I
Alice,
said so and then stop talking.
all right,
You
Alice.
said Mulan.
Okay, yeah, okay. No, I didn't hear him.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name for a second. Alice, you watched Mulan. What did you think? I'll let
Yeah.
you have your piece first.
Have my piece. I didn't have very high expectations going into it. Like everyone already complained when like the trailers came out, like last year, about how like Shang-Li isn't anymore, Mushu isn't anymore, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I didn't really care about that part. I didn't really mind.
So first,
that
you
they
watched
were
the
gone.
animated movie, right?
I have seen the animated movie. Yes,
Okay,
me and my
yeah.
mother watched it
Good.
in
Continue.
preparation for the live action.
All right.
Not watched it prior to that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you've watched. it, thank
But
God.
at least we've seen it. Yeah. The introduction of not really a spoiler of the witch is kind of weird. Like, have you guys seen clips of the live action where
I've
there's
just-
suddenly this new female figure in here?
I've
It
just
was
seen
really weird.
I've just seen some trailers, but
Is she in the trailers? I haven't seen the trailers.
I don't remember. I kind of know what you're talking
I
about.
haven't seen
but I don't
anything to do with the new Mulan movie. Haven't you seen the vision?
I haven't seen the trailers. My mom one day was just like, "You want to watch the Mulan movie?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." So I went
alright.
into the basement and pirated off the Chinese website thing.
Yeah, as you do.
But yeah, no, the introduction of this like random like lady, like I want to say like 10-20 minutes into the movie, she just appears, and I'm like, "Who the hell is this?" Like, I have no idea who this lady is. Yeah, no. Honestly, the entire time, I was just laughing at like the comments that people were leaving, because on these like Chinese pirated websites, it's top of the screen.
yeah.
And I was just
okay.
reading those, and they're so funny. Oh my god! And they keep
no, those
like
are
the whole
amazing.
thing with like Mulan's like chi or like qi in like Chinese. Oh god! Like people were going off about it because it's such like a dumb concept to Chinese people, and they hate it when Westerners are like, "You gotta focus on your chi," because that's not an actual fucking thing.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
It's not a thing, so people get really mad at it. It was really funny. Yeah, no. Otherwise, I'd think it was relatively accurate. They kind of did find like a stand-in for Shang-Li, just he was not a general. It was just like another Asian dude that was attracted to Mulan. Yeah, no, the movie in and of itself, I don't think was awful.
Yeah. Okay.
Although the whole like
not awful,
the thing
but
of
not
like
great.
where they fit, it's not great. No, I don't think it's like a top tier movie. But like the whole thing with like where they filmed it and everything, it's obviously like a very clear issue. And then like again, the witch really threw me off. It was weird. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was not awful. That's all I have to really say.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. And no one else here watched it.
You know, I haven't
Um,
watched the movie in like a
Yeah,
year.
I'm not
So-
surprised.
I have not watched the Mulan movie, and I don't intend to ever. Unless it's on like an airplane, and I never wanted to.
I mean, fair enough.
I mean,
From
like the
the
movies you watch on the airplane are just whatever you've got.
Exactly.
It's just whatever you have available.
They'll probably be playing it on the flight to China at some point, if I can ever fly to China again. Anyways, that's besides the point.
If you ever get go back.
From the day it
Bold
was announced,
assumption.
from the day it was announced they were making a Mulan movie, my thought process went from awesome, and then they went, it's not a musical, and I went, I'm not watching that ever. And then they went, we also took the cool, funny dragon out, and I'm like, I already wasn't gonna watch it, but now I'm going to avoid watching it like the plague. That was pretty much
That's
all I
the
needed
thing
to
everyone
hear.
enjoyed.
No
He's the one
kidding.
character that everyone likes.
It's so racially insensitive to have a Chinese dragon in a Chinese movie. I guess.
That's also like that's not. Wouldn't really call that racist, but okay.
Like, it's not cultural appropriation. That's how they looked. I mean, to make it comedic,
That's
I
literally
guess.
what they look like. I don't know.
They could have made it more serious. I would have accepted that. If they had made, I don't even remember his name. I'll be honest. He's just the Eddie Murphy dragon, man. Right.
Oh wait,
remind
the
me.
dragon in
Dragon
the
name.
Mulan movie?
Yeah.
No, what's his
Mushu.
name?
Thanks.
Mushu?
Yeah, Mushu.
Yeah, I heard it the first 3 times. Anyways, yeah, Mushu.
We gotta say more.
No, yeah, I love Mushu, but like, and if they had said, making a dragon into a lighthearted, funny character would be insensitive to Chinese culture, which is still kind of ridiculous. But if they had said that, and they're like, and they decided to make him less funny and make him more serious, and I guess not voiced by a black guy, I probably would have been outraged. I would be like, "You're making Mushu not funny? That's ridiculous." But then if like alternate parallel universe me had come through a portal and been like, "Guess what? In my world, they don't even have Mushu," I'd be like, "Shut up and take my money. I'll take it. Good enough. That's enough for me." And then they'd be like, "But it's not a musical." I'd be like, "Never mind. I take my money back. I'm still not watching it."
No, the songs in Mulan are so good in the anime.
Mulan is probably my favorite Disney princess movie, which is not really a princess movie.
I mean,
but
it's most people's favorite.
It's a good one.
She's technically a Disney princess.
Yeah, she's a Disney princess.
Yeah.
She's not actually a princess, but whatever. Yeah, it's a great movie. One of my favorites. Not as good as Lion King, but for Disney princesses, it's really good. Lion King is fucking amazing. Anyways, and not making it a musical, first of all, that's just ludicrous. You're just trying to take everything out of what makes a Disney movie, give it the same title, have some of the characters have the same names, and just be like, remember when you watched this as a child? Watch it again. It's not even the same movie, but
it's also not the same
title.
anymore.
It's not at all similar, but it's the same title. Watch it again.
So you're gonna watch it.
So I wasn't gonna watch it for a long time. I didn't think it would take this long to come out. Quarantine happened, coronavirus happened, and so now it's finally coming out.
A lot of things happened
On Disney Plus, of course.
Poster, it was so funny. You could see on the poster for on the Chinese website that it said the date was supposed to come out on March 27th, I think.
Nice.
Me and my mom watched it last week.
Yeah,
really
and it still came out on Disney Plus anyways, not even in theaters.
It came out September 4th, so.
So, it finally came out, and my mom heard about it, and she was like, "Hey, you want to go watch it? I think it's supposed to be really good." And I was like, "Hell no! I do not want to watch that." And she was like, "Oh, but it's such a big deal for the Chinese, because they're getting it's because it's real Chinese actors. They're in a Disney movie. That's their dream." And I was like, "What are you talking about? The Chinese can make their own movies. I've watched them. They're great. This is a Disney movie. Do you think it's gonna do anything for Chinese culture? This is Disney Chinese culture. This is to-go boxes, not actual Chinese food.
To-go boxes.
This is fortune cookies. This is fortune cookies and buttered chicken. That's not even a Chinese thing. It's a fake Indian thing. It's not even fake Chinese. It's fake Indian. That's how fake it is. It's Disney. It's a Disney movie. How many times do I have to tell you? It's probably all being done by white men. They do not have anything to do with China. They don't care. It's got some Chinese actors. Guess what? Those Chinese actors are just getting whitewashed into mainstream American movies. Guess what? The guy in it... Wait, he's in it, right? IP Man. I don't know why I call him IP Man. The Eep Man. Yip Man. Also, the blind guy from... Yeah. I have no idea how else to describe him. He's the Yip Man.
The Yip Man.
Yeah, it's a movie. Yip Man. Yeah, also, or IP Man. He's who did he say he was better than? Jackie Chan, I guess. I don't know if he's better than Bruce Lee. Anyways, I'll look up the actor's name. Is he in Mulan?
What? In Mulan? Yeah, he said he was better in
Anyways,
Japan.
he's the... Yeah, Donnie Yen. He's the first... Yeah, Donnie Yen. Anyways, he was the blind guy in Star Wars Rogue One. I don't know if any of you watched that.
I watched that one.
Yeah, so you know the blind dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Interesting.
Oh, he was in it. Who did he play? I'm
Commander
confused.
something.
Time to Google Mulan.
Oh, wait, no. Commander Tong, I remember who he is.
Okay.
now.
So, anyways, he's in it, and the last movie he was in was a fucking Disney Star Wars movie. Like, these people are just getting whitewashed out of their minds. They are not. You are not spreading Chinese culture to white kids. You're just watering it down further for them. It's a Disney movie. I can't say this enough. It's a Disney movie. It's a Disney movie.
Another thing that they like added to the live action is just this like whole new element of honor that I feel like wasn't like as like strongly represented in the first animation movie.
I think it was
movie or in the first story in general. Because
Yeah,
like in this one, it's like suddenly it's
duty.
like such a
I
big
mean-
part of the army of like honor and everything, and she's like, oh yeah, I gotta like honor the army and like all that stuff, and like in the actual
Yeah.
story, she's just actually trying to protect her family.
Yeah, I mean, I think
There's,
I think
no
like a
real
sense.
Like, isn't it
honor.
like she just doesn't want her dad to go to war or something like that?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's crippled and old.
So
Yeah.
a sense
Isn't that
of
maybe the
duty.
reason for the entire first movie? Not like some honor thing?
Yeah, like a
No,
sense
yeah,
of
exactly. And then like this suddenly, I feel like, especially like near the very end, is just a stronger and stronger sense of honor that came with like Mulan being a part of the army.
no.
Okay, then.
So like a sense of duty is kind of a given in Chinese culture, right? And especially in a war movie. But yeah, Mulan was like my sense. Well, the duty or the honor would have been for the dad, who's like, I'm almost dead, but I'm still gonna go to war. And Mulan was just like, hell no, and took
Like,
his
that's
place.
not a thing I'm gonna let happen.
She's a brave, strong, independent woman who don't need no man, but she's not like honorable. She lied. She lied to her country about her gender. That's white Chinese. Honor. Oh, if you so anything that has to do with China, they love honor. That's their big thing. Qi. They love those words. Let's sprinkle them into the movie somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Just put everywhere.
It was so funny.
It's
It was so
crazy
funny
to me.
reading the comments.
I don't know. My mom had this impression that it was going to be. It was like a big stride
Yeah.
for Chinese for people. Her thing was like the actors mainly. It was like, oh well, you know,
Yeah.
kids can finally see actual Chinese actors, not like. And to be fair, yeah, I guess it's a step in a direction, whereas they used to get like Japanese actors to play Chinese people, and it's like, okay, I guess it's better than that. But all you're doing is turning those mainland Chinese actors into Hollywood white person actors. Like, you're gonna get them, make them into slaves of the white agents who put them in movies wherever they need a token Chinese character, because now token Chinese character is a legitimate role, because that's how you get Chinese people to watch your white person Hollywood movies. That's just a thing. That's not helping the Chinese at all. That's helping the people who make the movie. Crazy. So my mom, she wasn't like pushing it on us, but she definitely thought that it was a good thing. And I was like, it's a Disney movie. And then 3 days later or something, she came to me and like we looked at some reviews, and she was like, you know what? You were right. People don't like this movie. And I said, I know they don't. I knew they wouldn't. I don't like the movie. I haven't even watched.
I miss the songs. The song only came up at the very end of the movie, like in the credits, and that was it.
I went and looked at some of the reviews for it, and like, so the ratings, first of all, the critic ratings were of course way higher than the audience ratings. because critics are just always wrong. I don't know why we have movie critics. I don't know why we pay people to tell us that they think something is good or bad, and then we always disagree with them. I don't understand how that's a job. They should not make money for doing that.
Agree with them.
It's crazy. The only thing critics are for is so that you can decide which movies get an award, which is always pretty much arbitrary, because it's like, it's just gonna be the ones that get the awards are just gonna be about war or minorities. It's gonna be the award ceremonies are pretty bullshit, but like the critics are every single day bullshit. It's nuts. So critics are useless. I don't know why we have them, but yeah, their scores were a lot higher than the audience scores. Then I read some of the actual reviews, what people say about the movie, and even the people who like it. So I read some of the negative ones, and it was stuff like, basically I got the impression that the only good thing about the movie was that it looked good. It's pretty set pieces. Alice? Can you concur?
Alice?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically what I got was that the only good thing about the movie is that it looked great.
I mean, yeah, I think it looked very nice. I think the only thing that like made my mom and I chuckle a little bit is like at the very beginning when Mulan's like living in her little like thing. I think she said that like something a part of that like section of the movie wasn't actually like a Chinese thing. It was like a different like thing. It just wasn't Chinese. Like the place that Mulan came from, like the town she's living in, it wasn't based off like an actual Chinese
were they living
thing
in
like historically. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't the building in it itself. I know those buildings existed.
Oh yeah.
But it was something about it that she was like, no. I was like, huh, okay, good to know. I found the colors odd because they were oddly vibrant. They were wearing oddly vibrant. I was like, they look too poor to be wearing such vibrantly.
It's Oriental. Clothing. They're such a colorful culture. They have
that's not how that
works.
There's such bright Chinese, colors there.
Olden days, they would be wearing brown if they're lucky.
They're such a bright and lively people. So many reds there. And oranges.
No, it was all like purple and like bright blue and yellow, and I was like, no.
No. Purple.
You're so poor. There's no way.
You couldn't even afford purple anywhere in the world for a while.
Exactly.
Purple was
and
like
they were wearing
hardest...
like just neon colors.
Purple was like the hardest thing to get in the world. Anyways. So yeah, no, all that kind of stuff I expected. I didn't have to watch the movie or even hear anyone say it. I was just right because I'm a fucking genius. I know Disney. I don't get
because it's a Disney movie made by white people.
People are still somehow confused about this. Like Disney is Disney. I can tell you exactly what their movies are going to be like without having to watch them. It's Disney. They've been following a formula for decades. They've been bullshitting like at least 3 generations of people into watching their shit. Some of it's really good, but it's all really predictable. Lion King is an amazing movie, but it's just Hamlet with lions. It's if Hamlet happened in Africa. There's nothing original about it. Nothing. All of their princess movies are rip-offs from everything else. They're all just rip-offs of Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen. And Mulan was one instance where they're like, let's do something crazy and look at the Orient. And have a bunch of white people still voice the characters. And a black guy voices the dragon. Whatever. So it's Disney. You know what they're going to do. But a lot of people are still confused about this. A lot of people somehow think, oh, this is going to be different. It's never different. So I could have told you all that. But, yeah, so what I saw was that people liked how it looked. And I was like, okay, I'm sure the sets are pretty. But at the same time, it's like, the people watching this movie, they're people who haven't been allowed to leave their house for the past 5 months. They're just happy to see the outside. Much less, China. to them, they're like, oh my god, this is what the outside world looks like. I forgot. China is gorgeous. It's incredible. But really, it's just like anything that's showing some scenery is probably amazing to these people. So saying that it had great, amazing set pieces is really not saying that much. That's just saying it showed China. Like, China's a pretty place on its own. It's not that impressive, though, if you film the Chinese landscape.
Speaking of which, the set pieces now are like under major controversy.
Yeah?
I can't speak. Because of the place where they filmed, like Mulan, when they were in like the whole army training scene, is the same place where Chinese people are just holding Muslims captive. So now a lot of people are just like, no.
So that's a little bit more into it. I'll get there in a second.
That's a whole nother thing.
That shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah. Again, I was against this movie. I was against this movie the second I heard it wasn't a musical and they took Mushu out. I was like, okay, so it's not going to be a good movie. But then my mom was talking about people. Like, you know, yeah. But then people were talking about. I didn't even consider, you know, the nationalistic value to it of like it's using the Chinese actors and stuff. And then I was like, that's actually just more negatives because it's just making people see Chinese people as more white than they are because it's putting Chinese people in a Disney movie. You know what that does? That just makes it, you know, that just makes Hollywood be like, we don't need Chinese movies if we can make them ourselves. Because anyways, because Chinese movies are, like I said, they're actually getting pretty good. Their VFX are still terrible. Their CGI sucks, but they're working on it. They're working on it. It's much better. It's a huge improvement. It was so bad. It was so bad.
I mean, I'm assuming what you're saying though isn't mainstream China. It's just Shanghai, in which Shanghai movies are fine.
Well, the beauty of it is that
mainland China movies.
Well, but China's actually making movies now. That's what's crazy.
Okay,
Hong Kong and Shanghai have been doing shit forever. They were making TV shows and stuff, and that's why we got everything in all the old movies and shows and crap are in Cantonese, and no one wants that. Who uses Cantonese anymore? Like savages.
Mandarin all the way.
Yeah, 100%. Oh god, that's one of my favorite things about China is there's just so brutally the way that they are their language, where you have a thing of their main spoken language, Mandarin, is the name they have for it is just regular speak. Like it's
it's 普通话.
It's just normal talk. I love it. That's like this is what normal people speak, okay? What you speak is something else. That's like the memes you see.
You're speaking something different from us.
That's like
you're just different.
That's like that meme where they jokingly go like, I don't care if you're like black, Asian, normal, and the normal is white, or like Hispanic. And that's a joke. It's like we can all. I don't care if you're black. Like I don't care if you're black, yellow, normal, or whatever. We can all still be friends. And that's a joke. In China, they're just like dead serious. I don't care if you speak Cantonese or normal talk. We're all Chinese here. But some of us are normal Chinese.
It's a joke.
It's so funny. I love it. I love it. Because they're just straightforward about it. They're unapologetic, completely unapologetic. It's like, you got a problem with it? No one's got a problem with it. Minorities don't say anything. They don't give a fuck. They just live on their little fishing island and they're happy. Good for them. So anyways, but yeah, no, like mainland China is trying to get into the movie scene because China's trying to get into every scene because they want to become a new world superpower, which, go for it. The US is not doing anything with that position. I'd rather be you than like Britain. Canada, sure, why not? But whatever. So I've watched some movies that China has put out, and they're pretty decent. I talked about them, all the ones I've seen. I talked about on the podcast at some point, just because it's a big deal. Like there was the animated movie was actually really good. Absolutely. A live action, a live action movie I watched a couple years before that, called The Island, also really good. I love this other thing with Chinese entertainment where because they haven't made any movies at all, much less ones that showed in outside of China, they get to use all the formats that are like totally tired and overused in Hollywood of like people stranded on an island, and it's like that's been done a million times before, but China hasn't done it yet, so it's brand new for them. And besides that, they also get to use the most simple titles that have been, again, if an American movie came out like that, it would be like, there's got to be at least 6 other movies with that title, like Mermaid. They made a movie just called like The Mermaid, and it's like there's no way that doesn't already exist. But not in China. The Island. It's just one word, but it hasn't been made in China yet, so it's awesome. I love it, and they're good movies. The Mermaid and The Island are both really good movies. That's what we should be promoting. That's what China should be pushing. That's what Chinese actors should be promoting. Like, get us in these movies and get them in America, because all those movies showed in Chinook Theater, a major Canadian cinema. That's a big deal. That's mainstream. And they're like, no, we want our voice to be heard through Disney. Through Disney. Disney is like the cigarette filter of the world. Nothing that comes out of them is anything like what it originally was. It's crazy. This was my other thing that I talked about. So my mom was talking about how it's, like it's great that they're using real Chinese actors. And of course, like I said that, yeah, okay, but the cultural aspect of it is still going to be super whitewashed. And then I was like, oh, wait a second, come to think of it. They're only bothering to use Chinese actors because it's a visible difference. Like, I know Disney doesn't care about the representation, but it's even more obvious when you think about it this way. So everyone can see if an actor is Chinese or American or, white. Which is why in like the animated movies, they just used whoever to voice act. But when it's live action, they actually get Chinese people, so the Chinese will be happy. They'll be like, I know that person. It's Chinese. I'm sedated. But that's only because it's outwardly visible and because the Chinese consumers are huge. The Chinese have, like the overseas Chinese, they got money, they got influence. If they're not watching your movies, you're going to lose money. So that's why they care. Other Europeans, they don't give half of a shitting fart about. Guess where Beauty and the Beast takes place? France. Does Disney give a shit about French people? No. Guess who the actors in the Beauty and the Beast live action movie are? British. They're all British. All of them speak with British accents in France, except for the candlestick. Lumiere is the only one who's remotely French in name and in voice. They did it in the animated movie and the live action. I don't know why they cared about that one character, but everyone else is British. Everybody. It's Hermione Granger, the British girl who went to school in the Scottish countryside playing a French woman. What the hell? They don't care. They don't care at all. And guess what? All the dumb Americans who don't probably know the difference between British and French people, they also don't care because they're all white. They see white skin. If they made Belle black, people would flip out. They would be like, this is outrageous. This is the liberal agenda. They're trying to put black people in everything. And I would say, shut up. There is no difference between putting a black person as a French person and putting a British person as a French person. Yes, geologically they're closer. Yes, evolutionarily they're closer, and culturally they're closer. I don't care. They're still both wrong. It's still both wrong. If you had an Asian Belle, that's just as wrong as a British Belle. They sound totally different, but they look more similar so they can get away with it. We are all so subconsciously racist. Even when we try not to be racist, it just makes us more blatantly racist all the time. We're so blind. We're insane as a species. French story. All British people. The person who wrote Beauty and the Beast is like, what the hell? But they don't care. Disney doesn't care. All of their stories that they did, they don't have live actions yet. Not all of them, but all their original animated Disney princess movies, like I said, they were all either like Brothers Grimm, who are German, or Hans Christian Andersen, who was it Austrian? What was he?
Hans?
Or like Dutch?
Danish.
So Hans Christian Andersen was Danish. Brothers Grimm were German. Not a single Disney movie has Danish or German sounding people. They're all British. Every one of them. Guess what? Britain hasn't written a good fairy tale ever. They were spending way too much time ransacking countries for gold. That's all they were interested in. They were not writing compelling literature at all. Not in the slightest. No one has ever been like, Britain, the epicenter of art and culture of the world. Never. The only reason the British Museum is a great museum for art and culture is because they stole it all. It's all art and culture from other places that Britain happened to go through. That's all. In France, the Louvre, that's actually stuff they painted. In Austria, there was a shit ton of music and art. In Rome, in Italy, in Venice, all those are the same place, by the way. Tons of music and art and culture and theater. In Greece, art and culture and theater and mathematics and philosophy and everything imaginable. In Germany, everything. Germany went crazy with language and stories and art and music. Britain has contributed nothing in the artistic world at all, other than stealing it all and putting it in one place where we can see it all for one fare. That's all. That's all they've done. Britain has done nothing for us. My God. Britain had the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. They had some great rock and roll singers. That's it. I don't know how that turned into my Britain thing, but...
Oh my god.
Yeah. So the other thing about Mulan, right? So I have all these reasons to not like Mulan and not want to watch it. And then I was on Instagram and then people were going, boycott Mulan. Why? Because to support Hong Kong. And I was like, what? This is new.
What?
I looked it up.
Wait, what?
So I looked it up.
Hold on.
That's not that.
The lead actress in Mulan, don't know her name, has openly supported the Hong Kong police. So people are now not watching the Mulan movie. People are now not watching the Mulan movie because they don't want to support her. And then I was just like,
I completely forgot about that.
I was like, this is like Halloween, Easter, and Christmas all at once. I already didn't want to watch this movie 6 months ago. And now, in all the time leading up to the movie's release, all I've heard is more reasons not to watch the movie. You don't need to keep giving this to me. This is unconditional generosity on the part of Disney. They're just piling on reasons for me to dislike this movie. I don't know what to do with it.
I remember hearing about that. Like this, I think this is during the production of the movie too. This is a very long time ago. And after they found out that this person was casted, and everyone was going crazy because she supported them.
Yeah. And then you threw in that they filmed it in the concentration camps, and I had heard about that too. I just forgot about it until you mentioned it. And it's like, this is so generous. This is so kind of you. You're showering me with your reasons to hate. I don't know what to do with it all. I'm flabbergasted. I'm astounded at how many ways this movie has managed to not appeal to audiences. And all of them...
Oh, there's so many more, too.
And they're all for me. That's without me having watched anything from the movie, and I've only watched like one trailer. And with that... So, I don't know anything about the acting, if the plot is good. And I mean, you just talked about it, which is why I wanted you to say that. So, but without having to know how the acting is, how the movie looks, how the action choreography is, how the score is, how the plot is, Without any of that, which is, by the way, what makes a movie. Just all the external elements are, every single one of them is a negative. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. It's unprecedented. And it's the first biggest movie to come out from quarantine. This world, entertainment, our lives are all being flushed down the shitter.
All because of Disney.
I'm speechless. Ain't that